Seattle semifinals. I'm Randy Bueller, sitting in with Brian Kibler, and it's time for some match play. You watched them draft their decks, and now it's time to play. First, we're going to watch the match between Jelger Wiegersma and Joseph Darrow. Darrow took a mulligan, and they are off. If you remember, these were the B seats. They drafted in the middle. Wiegersma had a white deck, and Darrow wound up with blue. Who do you think's got the edge here? We picked Wiegersma.
We picked Wiegersma. I mean, his deck is just seems very good to me. I mean, he's blue-white. He just has a lot of very aggressive creatures and equipment, and I mean, he's double Razor Golem.
Well, Darrow did start with a looter. He's Milton Thought Courier, starting right away on turn 3. All Wiegersma's done on the first 2 turns is a Lean and Bola.
I mean, I mean, Darrow's deck shouldn't be counted out. I mean, he does have
kind of an idea.
A pair of Spire Golems, a pair of Behemoths. I mean, his deck certainly isn't a bad deck.
No, there's Raise the Alarm at the end of turn 2, so Wiegersma doing just fine. Wizard Replica came down for Darrow. We'll be bringing you updates on the other matches. There's all 3 matches are being played right now. We'll be sure to keep an eye on the back matches and keep you updated on those.
Now that I'm looking at Jelger's deck list, though, it doesn't look nearly as good as it did during the draft.
Really?
I mean, he's playing with you know, some cards that I'm personally not a big fan of at all. I mean, he's Looming Grid Augury in his deck. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, he doesn't have the creature base that it looked like he had during the draft. He does. I mean, he does have, you know, a Scanner Patrol, Scanner Cub, you know, the Punisher, the Razor Alarms, and the Razor Golem.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of that, I mean, he didn't really get, you know, Squires. He didn't really get, you know, a lot of the cards that can make his equipment deck, you know, so fast and so powerful. And his equipment is, you know, his equipment's a Bola, and just. He actually only has Bola to get with Trinket Mage, and he already drew the Bola.
Wow, so he just looked and shuffled and didn't get anything with that Trinket Mage?
Yep.
Wow.
Sure.
That's not very exciting.
No.
Already.
So yeah, I'm not so sure on our prediction anymore.
Interesting.
But,
all right.
I mean, yeah, I do like Jelger's deck, but at the same time, it's just not nearly as impressive as it looked during the draft. It's one of the interesting things about team draft is that, I mean, there's so much to follow. That, I mean, you know, sometimes you can be, you know, watching a draft and just really...
Darrow cycles a Spell Bomb, then plays a 3rd island for a turn 4 Spire Golem.
Yeah, I mean, this is not looking nearly as good as it could be. There's a Razor Golem, I imagine. Yep, sure. And then this Bola is going to be big. I mean, as Bola always is. But I mean, with Raise the Alarm tokens and I mean Razor Golem, I mean he can definitely get some damage.
Check her go.
I think that Bola is probably going to be the most important card in this match.
All right, Bola taps the Spire Golem. Still 20-20, right? Yeah, still 20-20.
Yeah. I mean, but like I was saying, it's really difficult to get just a good gauge on, I mean, how good all the decks are when you're you know, watching all of them come together.
That's Quicksilver Behemoth, right?
Yep.
Quicksilver Behemoth comes down. That Merfolk Looter was so good back in the day that Looter's just got to be setting up Darrow. Every turn he seems to do something high quality something.
Looter's still very good. It's a lot worse than it was back in the day.
Why is that?
It's just, I mean, the impact that it has in the games just isn't nearly as significant. A lot of the decks have less land, so there's, you know, less cycling through land. And I mean, you're just using your mana like every turn. You know, investing things early is just important as well. And I mean, he doesn't impact the board enough in a lot of games that just, you know, are decided very quickly.
All right.
I mean, he's still good, don't get me wrong, but
he's no Lean and Bola, that's what you're telling me.
He's certainly no Lean and Bola.
Yeah, Wiegersma is tapping, he's not taking any damage, he's able to serve with Razor Golem. He is going to start taking damage now. It's hard, can't really tap 2 attackers a turn, so Spire Golem finally gets a chunk in. As does Wizard Replica.
There's
another Quicksilver Behemoth.
See, I mean, in this game, that Looter's very good.
It looks like that's been the whole game. That turn 2 Looter. I mean, Darrow took a mulligan, too. This is a mulligan draw. And he's gone Looter, Replica, Spire Golem, Behemoth.
Yep.
That's a pretty good curve.
It certainly is.
The Canadian rookies trying to pull off the upset here. It would be quite an upset. I mean, this is the least experienced team versus the most experienced team.
Darrow 12. Bigger small 17.
Yelger attacking. He's playing this pretty aggressively.
I mean, he can't really block. Those aren't really creatures that he could do much blocking against.
Fair enough. Swordsmith and get nothing. He's played a Trinket Mage and a Swordsmith, and he's yet to search his library for anything.
That Swordsmith not the most efficient of creatures here. Be much more happy. Be much happier if that was an Anchorite.
Yeah.
Although I mean, there's
Who knew how bad it was to draw Lean in Bola?
Oh,
You'd think that'd be a good draw. It turns out it turns off your Trinket Mage and your Swordsmith. Nope. Darrow sends his flyers into the red zone again.
He
Also got
Swordsmith.
one Behemoth going into the red zone.
he could still Swordsmith, but he's not really in the position to invest that mana.
To go get.
He can get headdresses.
Oh, sure.
What's the life total?
He's
I'm at
3.
17.
Fair enough. What's Yelger thinking about? He could double block Behemoth. He's got 5 power. He's got Razor Golem and Swordsmith.
I know.
I don't think Behemoth is. I don't think he wants to double block Behemoth here. I mean, he's forcing his opponent's investment of mana with his Behemoth attacking, and I mean he's in it in the race pretty well with the board he has and that Bola. So I certainly don't think he wants to trade his Razor Golem for that Behemoth, particularly if his opponent does have any sort of trick. I mean, he loses creature.
I'll take it.
Yeah, he just takes it.
I'm at 7 damage, right?
7, yeah.
So I'm at 10.
4 and 3. Yeah, my apologies.
So he just takes it.
Bigger small 10.
It's a big chunk of damage. 7.
Bigger small 10.
For the longest time, I always just mistook, not mistook, but I always just sort of assumed that Spiral had 3 power. He just seemed like he should have 3 power. I mean,
Well,
I eventually learned, but
Quick match check-in, by the way. There you see them shuffling up in the back, and Jérôme Remy has already taken game number 1 from Paul Russell. So, quick 1-0 lead for the Dutch. Wiegersma may be in trouble, but Remy's got his back. 1-0 lead for Remy. These are best 2 out of 3 matches, by the way. Best 2 out of 3 games, and then best 2 out of 3 matches wins the match. Meanwhile, back on the home front, Wiegersma's doing a bunch of math, counting it out. Paul Russell, or sorry, Joseph Darrow just sits confidently, stares over.
I'm not entirely convinced that Yelger's in a huge amount of trouble here.
Really?
Well, I mean, he still has that Bola and a good number of creatures, and I mean he's still in the race certainly.
Okay.
Yeah, he puts it on his Razor Golem attack.
Equip.
Attacking. Tap while attacking. Sort of surprising.
Yeah, attack. 4 blockers, so.
So he attacks with the Razor Golem, then detaches the Bola, tapping the Behemoth. So the only blocker is the Looter. Swordsmith, Trinket Mage, and Razor Golem threatening to deal 7 damage. Why not attack with one of the soldiers?
Because he wants to use one to tap and one to chump.
Oh, he's going to chomp, sure. That makes
I'm
sense.
going to chump the goal.
Pretty tight race here.
Yeah.
So Darrow chump blocks the Razor Golem, and he takes
Doesn't use his
4.
Looter. That's not a good sign.
Uh-oh. That means he likes his hand, doesn't it? That's interesting. Darrow drops to 8, but he likes his hand, apparently. Anchorite. And, yep, Bola moves over to the Soldier token.
Echoing Truth in the Soldier tokens. Ding. That's not good for Yelger at all. Echoing Truth takes up the soldiers, which leaves Bola unequipped.
Yeah.
And Yelger's in the position that he has to chump block with his Anchorite. Or just die.
Bad chump.
Although Darrow is at 8. But,
He's at 8?
yeah, Echoing Truth took out the soldiers.
Oh, Echoing Truth again.
So
If he hadn't chump blocked with Courier, he could actually win this turn, right?
could he? I mean, he deals 4, 5, 6, 7. No.
8, 9? No, not
Yelger
quite.
at 10.
Yeah, so Darrow can't quite win, but that Echoing Truth is giant.
Well, if he attacks with everything, the
You're at 10?
He has to jump block and anchor.
his
It's got to be the right
jump block
play.
and anchor right puts him at 2, but I mean then he can only recast 1 behemoth, and then he gets attacked. He's attacked down to 1, although he can't really Razor Golem tap, unless he has. Yeah, this is a tight. Sure. Although if he
So he holds back the wizard replica. He's
Now I'm-
threatened to put him to 3. It's not that bad. He still has to chump block, and you get a defender. I think that plays fine.
Yeah.
That play seems fine.
Figure small 4. Starro 8.
3, and then you play.
And all the chromatic sphere.
This is in your
Does that
hand.
hold off Behemoth?
Yeah, they're both in my hand, sorry.
No. Still. No, they're artifact.
Yeah, right.
It's your turn.
Just annuls randomly. Avoid giving him a card. All right, Vigor's Maw and taps.
At 3 life facing
Figure small
around
4.
3 power of fire.
Starro 8.
Starro 8, Vigor's Maw 4.
So Yoker's at, no, he's at 4 life, not 3 life.
I'm at 4.
Yes, sir.
So Darrow has how many cards in hand? Does he just have the behemoth left?
Yeah.
Just the Behemoth.
So don't know what Yoker has, but he can't really be as aggressive because that wizard replica holds off much of his team and he dies in a counterattack. So,
What do you think the play is?
well, if he puts he doesn't have the ability to threaten to kill Darrow though. I mean, if he had the ability to threaten to kill Darrow, he could potentially
6 more points of Columbus to get
bowl
to
up
the
a
next one.
guy, tap wizard replica,
Yeah,
force
you
him to
need 20,
block
right?
with
Yeah, I think
behemoth,
so.
bounce
Yeah.
the behemoth. Doesn't,
0.
I don't know.
Do you need 8?
It really depends on his hand.
Or
I mean, if he doesn't have any,
Top three,
assuming he has
two,
no
two,
spells, I mean, I don't think he
like
can
a
win.
decent GPU or whatever, you know?
He bowls. He has to bowl it and tap the
Yeah, I was actually dropping off to
behemoth to get
like a
really any
GPU.
damage in without losing
So this will do it for you?
his team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need
But I mean, then he
three
gets
extra points or whatever.
he has to have blockers to deal with the behemoth. I mean, it seems like if he has a blocker,
Bowls up the Trinket Mage. He's going on offense. Taps the Behemoth.
the greater
And Razor Golem
against
hits
the
over.
Meta screwed opponent.
So that'll drop Darrow to 5. 5 to
Yeah.
4. And now the Razor Golem picks up the Bola.
that doesn't make sense to me at all.
Why not?
I mean,
It's not gonna. It would block and die. He doesn't want to lose it, so he's gonna chump with Swordsmith if he's forced to chump.
that's true.
So what do you tap Spire Golem here, right?
Yeah, I guess you tap Spire
You
Golem.
tap Spire Golem. You say you want to bring Behemoth. I'm gonna chump block and I can counterattack you. Yeah, he'll have 5 power left, so he's threatening a lethal counterattack next turn. It's really hard for Darrow to attack here.
I mean, he does have another behemoth in his hand. And if he chumps with a guy, he can just recast this behemoth anyway. I mean, behemoth is blinking spirit.
Yeah, I understand, but so. Yeah, I guess we don't have. Vigor's Maw doesn't quite have enough blockers. Well, he taps the Behemoth, so he's willing to take the fire damage.
I mean, it would only put him to 1.
True. Saying you want to attack me with that wizard replica, now I can
His
do lethal counterattack.
hand, if he has regress in hand, then this gives him the.
Is he playing Regress?
He has a regress in his deck, yes.
Yeah, any kind of bounce spell, Vigor's Maw can crank over for the win. Next turn, right?
If he gets attacked at all, yes.
But can Darrow afford not to attack?
No tax.
Let's say he's not attacking.
How does Bobble?
Yep. Okay.
Bobble. Bobble go.
He's playing a behemoth.
I think Bobble Behemoth go. Bobble Behemoth go. All right. So Darrow clearly worried about a bounce spell as Bola opening himself up to a lethal counterattack.
And Echo
Looks like he's going to play defense. Bounce both Behemoths.
Ting.
Okay. Vigor's Ma has.
Yep.
Regress. Points it at Behemoth.
Rectify.
Now what? Now, yeah, pretty quickly and confidently. He's got a plan. Trinket Mage picks up the Bola. Tap your Spire Golem. And yeah, this works,
Yeah, this
right?
kills him. So, yep.
Yeah, the Razor Golem can attack and bounce. So
Yep, the regress is lethal.
Bola attacks. There it is.
There we go.
Yelger Vigersma, ladies and gentlemen. 1-0 lead for the Dutch. Meanwhile, on the back table, Jerome Remy is ready for game number 2. So we're going to go check in on their game. There you get a good look at it. Jerome Remy has shuffled up, mulligan. He's got his Von Dutch hat on. He's got his toothpick in his mouth. He's ready to take on Paul Russell, and he's up a game, so he could put the first match up for the Dutch in theory.
The entire Dutch team is in fact sporting Von Dutch gear. So.
Lead and Elder is the first turn play from Paul Russell. There you get a good look at it.
The eye in the sky.
Sundropper? Again, life?
Gains a life from a... Is that a Sundropper? Yeah, from Sundropper.
Go ahead.
Droplet's really good against you.
There's a lot of potential life gaining, actually. Paul Russell leads with
This probably won't be quite as quick as the
Elder
last.
Sundroplet.
I mean, that's the second land drop. I mean, it's the second land drop.
Backside.
Oh, Jerome
Just
Remy has no
play a
turn 2
turn
land
two.
drop.
Seems like a poor play.
Yeah, that's not the right play. Is that Elf Replica?
Go ahead.
Yep, Elf Replica.
Come on, one time,
So
one
Paul
time.
Russell may put one up for the Canadians.
I will discard.
Okay.
He's gaining life, he's playing men. Remy looks like a man who's deciding what to discard. Wow. Discards Consume Spirit.
Draw.
Makes me wonder what he must have in his hand that he kept it. He's got to have a mirror if he kept the one land.
Yeah, he kept one land drawing.
He's got to have a mirror or a talisman healer.
One time.
The 2/3 Regenerator Troll guy.
Oh.
And finally land number 2 for Jerome Remy. He's got a swamp and a mountain.
Again.
Oh, and Guardian Idol, so there's the artifact mana we were imagining.
He's
But it might be
really
too
far
late.
behind though.
Draw.
He's
at
facing down
15.
3 creatures already. One that regenerates.
Yeah, he's at 15, he's going to take
Back
5 down to 10.
Take 5.
Crunch. Russell sends his men over.
Almonds?
You got it.
Tangled all.
Oof.
Mark the beat down.
GG.
Squad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean he dies next turn if he doesn't have a blocker.
He's got.
Well, it's not a bad blocker. It's not a bad blocker when you have no land. But
Right.
I mean, he can also
Still.
just get stirred out, frozen charged out of it. Just about anything.
Even just Swarm, like,
Yeah.
just attack you with my men,
Attack
play a
your
man,
men,
attack with my men. Probably good enough.
Scimitar?
Scimitar comes down for Paul Russell. Somebody's going to pick up the sword. Probably the Elder.
Is that 10?
I mean, this game is slipped away
You'll pick the
pretty quickly for your own.
Down for you. Equip on the other?
Yep, sword the elder.
Backside?
Send it to him.
Sure.
He goes to 1.
I'm ready for damage for the sack.
Down the stack.
Sure. Game results?
I'll take 5.
Not a happy place to be.
25-1. Close game.
Go ahead.
5? Wasn't it 10 and took 9? I believe he's at 1 life, not 5. He's at 5. Shows how much I know.
It's a Bottle Gnomes, not a Tangle Golem.
Oh!
A little
lot less
different.
scary than what I thought it was. That would explain things.
President?
This game's actually not that horrible. It's not a good situation.
So Rami's at 5. Has he actually managed to stabilize with those 2 flesh crafters?
I don't know.
Is that possible?
I mean, a bottle gnome is not a large man.
No.
Put the
Unless you just sword the exile and start going.
Accept.
I mean,
Sure.
It's not much of
Alright.
can't really stabilize against that very easily.
I'm at 5.
He's going to have to discard an artifact
Block and
every turn, or
discard.
take 3. He can take 3 down to 2, or he can block and discard an artifact.
I don't know if he can go down to 2. I mean, he just gets swarmed way too easily that way.
I agree. It seems like he's got to block and discard an artifact.
Seems like you block with both, right? I mean, I guess then Ferocious Charge kills your team.
Yes.
Well, if you block with both, you force him to regenerate and don't let him play more spells.
He just jump
blocks
blocks.
and dies.
Apparently did not have an artifact, or didn't have one he wanted to discard anyway.
That- So
That
then
can't be
you
good
can't,
for
how can you
Remy.
block then? It seems like you gotta just go down to 2 if you can't discard an artifact.
Is that a grunt?
Yeah.
Harcoin grunt? Another 2/2 man.
No, that's a Goblin Archaeologist. A 1/2 man.
Equip the bola or the scimitar. Nailed it. Accept.
So Russell sends the whole team in. Rami's got the Archaeologist to block the Bottle Gnomes. Fleshcrafter steps in front of the Sordid Elder. He's going to take the Exile. He loses to a Ferocious Charge. And there it is, Ferocious Charge. So Paul Russell evens his match 1 game apiece. So the Canadians finally put one up on the scoreboard in their favor. So, wow. We are going to go look over at the other match. There's Camille Cornelissen. They're early in Game 2. Camille Cornelissen has just won Game 1. So the Dutch won Game 1 in all 3 matchups. Camille
Not a bad start.
Camille sitting over on the right, Matthew Wood on the left with the backwards baseball cap, and they're going to be playing their second game. Matthew Wood trying to even that at a game apiece. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to the match we started on. Jelger Wiegersma and Joseph Darrow are ready for game number 2. Darrow had to mulligan again, just like he had to mulligan in the first game. He ended up losing a close, hard-fought bola match. And so Wiegersma sits up. They are ready for game 2. If Wiegersma can win this, then Von Dutch can take a match lead. They swept the game once, but so far they've lost the only game 2 that's finished.
And there's the courier again.
Yeah, that was almost won that game for Darrow. Headdress from Wiegersma.
Sure.
Darrow starts digging through his library. Ooh, the cub. It looks like something that wants to wear a headdress.
It does like a pretty hat.
Sure. Our cub. It's hybrid, right?
I'll take it. Yep.
Chunks over for 2 damage.
A ducket. Nudge. Cub getting in there, and then advanced hover guard will come down this round. Not Looming Gridhogger, not quite as exciting. A looter of his own, a much, much worse looter. Spire Ghoul.
I'll take it.
Darrow sends in the hybrid for 2 again. Jelger drops to 16.
See, this is where Jelger's deck not having any aggressive equipment is not happy for him. The Spire Golem's just gonna sit there and block everything right now. Although
Needs his bola.
the looter fight,
Just needs bola, right? I mean, he's got the Trinket Mage,
yeah,
he's got the
he gets
Swordsmith,
Trinket
he's got
Bola.
the bola. That's the key. He needs to
I mean,
get the bola.
and Blinding Beam, the best card in history. Anchorite. It's a lot of damage prevention. This game is going to grind to a halt quite quickly.
This guy.
So hybrid comes over, Spire Golem comes over,
Ooh, a plating.
cranial plating gets
Ugh.
moved onto the hybrid. So Vigor's Maw's man is down, and the hybrid counters move over to the Spire Golem, and Joseph Darrow seems to have this game reasonably under control. Is that fair?
I mean,
He's got a giant flyer that gets even bigger when it picks up the cranial plating. Oh, there's the
Bola.
swordsmith. Giant. Vigor's Maw smiles and laughs about it. That's the key. Swordsmiths into Bola. Plays the Bola. All of a sudden, Joseph Darrow's board is come crumbling apart. He's got one giant man. It's a 4/6 flyer. You put the plating on it, and it's what, 1, 2, 3 more? 7/6 flyer, but only one creature, so
It's only 2 more.
2 more. He's going to play an artifact next turn. Predicting the future.
Bola.
Augers picks up the Bola.
Yeah, that Bola is. I mean, like I said before, that's the card that will define this match.
And Darrow's playing blue-black, so he's got nothing in the way of answers, right? Is there a card in his deck
There's
that
not a card that
random bounce spell can throw
I mean,
off
he
the
could echo.
timing?
I mean, last game the Echoing Truth and the Soldier token was his Bola out.
Yeah,
but-
so all he can do is try to tempo it out with a bounce spell.
The other point is the fact that cranial plating can be moved as an instant. So I mean, if he platings up a guy, I mean, you can Bola it. And,
Cub picks up a pretty hat, crunches over for 3.
Another Anchorite.
Oh, down comes Anchor.
And the Bola. Yeah, that plating's gonna be doing some moving as an instant.
13 for Darrow, 14
Okay, thanks.
Cranial plating quite good, but it's even better if you've got the black man and you need to move it.
This game certainly isn't over yet. I mean, the Bola's going to do a lot of damage here, and the Anchorite's going to do his part. But I mean, that plating is very scary.
So for those of you out there watching on the internet, I do have a laptop in here, and I'm watching the message board forum. So if there's subjects you'd like Brian and I to talk about, people you'd like to try to have us ask questions of, we can do that.
Plated up his
Post in the forums, and we've got our eyes on it.
that seems
Is that 5/1?
Yeah, plating's up the looter,
can't be. I mean, you just block the looter.
right?
Yeah.
Double blocks the looter. Why is he double blocking?
I
Worried about a removal spell or something?
don't.
It's not actually dangerous. It doesn't threaten to...
I mean, I don't understand why you didn't just block with the swordsman.
He's worried about a trick of some kind.
I mean, what trick is what trick's scary there?
Well,
I mean, I guess that means he can't move the. That means he can't move it. Yeah, that
plating.
means he can't move it unless he just wants to
oh,
stop
that's a
die.
good play. That's a nice play, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a really good block. Means he only took 4 damage from the mirror enforcement. not
I mean,
more.
but otherwise, I don't know. I still don't know if that makes sense to me. I mean, he loses
Didn't-
that right. I guess.
Saying he could have just lost the swordsmith.
Well, I mean, if he just blocks the swordsmith, I mean, if he moves it, I mean, sure, he takes more damage, but I mean, then he still has all of his creatures. And he can jump block the enforcer a bunch. I don't know. I mean, he's the one up there, not me. As I always say.
Yeah.
Because I'm never up there.
Cub flies over for 3 again.
Hoverguard. Of the advanced variety.
Swordsmith picks up the Bola. And the Augurs puts on a headdress. What's that available to block the Nim, presumably?
The Nim? The mirror, you mean?
The mirror, sorry.
I mean, that's a lot of damage he's facing now. That plating is currently +5.
Alright. Spire Golem gets tapped. Now what does Darrow attack with?
Nothing.
Apparently... Ooh, a Null's
That
Computer
was-
Golem.
that was a
That's
big
big.
turn. That was a huge turn.
Yeah, that was big. Another
I'm
Peter
confused by
Gallon.
the no attack. I mean, I guess if he attacks with both, he just. I don't know.
He kept the blue mana up, tapping his mirror for mana. Which is kind of interesting.
I'm confused by the no attack with.
So if he attacks with Mirror Enforcer, then
if he
Augurs plus Headdress just blocks it, and nothing happens.
He has plating.
Oh.
I mean, he could just plate it and attack.
Plate it and attack.
That's nothing can block it and live. I mean, I guess he could double block and then it kills both creatures. I mean, you can do 8. Can you do 8? Yeah, you can do 8. I don't understand that no attack. I mean, maybe if attack back is lethal or regress attack back is lethal.
Yeah, I think that's what he's worried about. Because I mean, Cub in the air plus
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
plus
9.
the 2 power. So I mean, Vigoursmaw just came over for 5 in the air. Vigoursmaw definitely threatening to win next turn with an air attack.
Yep.
What does Darrow need to do? Power, that bullet's been insane.
The bowl is.
You can start to why Z Mauschewitz would pick it over Fireball. You really can. I mean, in this matchup, it's been better than Fireball.
Oh, certainly.
Our spotter on the floor, Justin Gary, is whispering in my ear, best common ever.
It's not as good as a blinding beam. Blinding beam is still better.
Okay. So Mirror Enforcer.
Now he attacks.
Mirror Enforcer attacks.
The exact same position.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's the same board position.
But I mean, now
Augurs blocks, and Cranial Plating moves on to the Enforcer. Augurs prevents damage to itself, and it survives this combat, right? There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts.
No, it's
no, it dies. Okay. For his next trick,
Behemoth.
Darrow plays a Behemoth.
Wait,
Cub picks up the hat at instant speed.
He's got to have Echoing Truth or he's dead.
5 in the air. He's got to bluff it, right?
I mean,
he's got 2 mana untapped. Presumably, Vigoursmaw is going to attack with his 2 flyers.
You're at 5?
5 power in the air? Maybe? Pump fake? There it is. There's the handshake. Jelger Vigoursmaw, 2-0. Chalk one up on the scoreboard for Von Dutch. They now lead 1 match to 0. Meanwhile, the next game they win will clinch it. Camille Cornelissen is up 1-0. Jerome Remy is in game 3, 1 apiece. We're going to go check in on one of those back matches and find out if the favorites really can get through to the finals.
I don't know what was cool. Like, I
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were in
yeah.
Quicksilver Demon on that turn, so I had exactly enough to play both.
Yeah. I had the annual for like the whole
We'll check in on Camille Cornelissen. That's the one match we haven't really got a good look at yet. Camille Cornelissen is taking on Matthew Wood. Camille won the first game, and they look to be about halfway through game 2.
I'm actually shocked they're not starting turn 4 of game 1.
Camille not exactly... Camille not legendary for his fast play.
Camille single-handedly caused the Invitational in South Africa to take 27 more hours than it would have otherwise. We actually finished Thursday of the following week.
What?
It's like Cackling It, Goblin Brawler, Spike Shot Goblin on one side. Goofy Vandals, Relic Barrier, Sylvic Explorer on the other side. This is game 2. Camille's up 1-0. And the life totals are 20 to 11. Camille's been taking some early damage. He's down to 11.
That Spike Shot's the card in the deck that he can't really do much against.
Tackling into Goblin Brawler. Crunch over into the red zone.
That Relic Barrier's looking really unimpressive, too.
Now Camille's down to 7. Scavenging Scarab.
Not an artifact.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew Wood is
Put a counter.
pretty good shape here. Just an Oofy Vandal in it.
I mean, he's staring down quite a bit of damage, and he's got nothing.
we've actually been joined in the booth now by Jelger Wiegersma. How's it feel? How are you doing?
Feels pretty good, yeah. Like, the bola was really insane.
Yeah, the bola was ridiculous. What a match.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think your boy Camille can come back from this position? You can tell what's going on?
I can't really tell. But
Yeah, he's facing down Spike Shot Goblins, Scavenging Scarab. There's a Brawler tackling him.
He's at 7.
yeah.
And he's at 7.
Looks pretty bad.
And he's got another 1 toughness guy.
Is this game 2? Or?
Yeah, this is game
Game
2.
two.
Camille's
Yeah,
up the
game
game.
one
So.
first.
Is that about the way you thought your match was going to go? Or
Yeah, like, I had 2 ways to search for the bola, so...
And his deck can't remove the bola.
No,
so.
exactly. Yeah, couldn't really do anything about it.
So what do you guys think of the other matchups?
I really don't know.
you're
Good
supposed
thing
to
you're
win?
paying attention.
Yeah.
One of the big differences I found between European players and American players, the Europeans always think they're going to lose because their decks are terrible. The Americans always think they're going to win because their decks are amazing. Yet somehow,
No Americans.
all the prize money goes to Europe. I don't know how that works.
Well, I mean, the dollar's doing so poorly now that it's not really that much to them.
Not much heroes here.
So Spike Shot knocks down that tells you lot's chosen. Woods creatures crunch into the red zone. Scarab, Brawler, Cackling Imp. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like Goofy Vandal's gonna have to chump block.
I mean,
I guess he double
Yeah,
blocked
he's gonna double
Scarab,
block.
right?
He probably double blocks, yeah.
I think he's just dead.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, his deck. I mean, he can't remove the imp and spike shot. I mean, he's
Yep.
at 7. I mean, he's dead.
Well, like, he has 2 red removal spells, like a bolt and a
But I mean, like,
spellbomb.
there's both of those in
Yeah,
play.
I
and
know. Not looking
Yeah,
good.
double blocks the Scarab, takes 4 down to 3.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Camille.
Paul Russell just beaconed of creation for 5 guys, so Jerome Remy may be in trouble over there. All right, Camille scoops him up. Matthew Wood has evened this a game apiece. We're going to move our cameras over to catch the end of Game 3. Jerome Remy and Paul Russell are playing Game 3, and then we'll come back and we'll definitely watch Game 3 of the match between Cornelissen and Wood. So, Jerome Remy.
Oh, wait. Never mind. Okay. So are they moving or not?
So we're moving
Yeah.
Camille up there. We're
We
gonna
got
get,
players to the good table. Meanwhile, Jerome Remy
we're gonna get a look
is in
over
Game
there
3.
in that match. Against the many insects.
Is Jerome a little
He's Star of the Pride too, right?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
That's a dangerous insect.
Pretty good comeback. Yeah.
So there you get a look at it. Jerome Remy sitting across from a fairly confident-looking Paul Russell. He's kicking back. He just made a bunch of token creatures. Wow. So what are the life totals, Justin? 14 to 12. Remy's at 14. Russell's at 12. And Russell is shoving a bunch of stuff into the red
That's the Star of the
zone.
Pride.
You
I
think?
I mean, maybe it's
Solid.
not, but I mean, it could just be I'm attacking you with all my guys because I have a million. I mean, but he had leaning back like that. He looked like a man who had Star of the Pride to me.
Well, Remy lines up some blocks. He's got a Granite Shard, so yeah, looks like Granite Shard, a couple creatures blocking.
Maybe no Star.
If Remy wins this match, Von Dutch is through to the finals. But if Paul Russell can win this game, then it all comes down to Game 3, Match 3 between Camille and Matthew.
He's counting to 7.
Can't be a good sign. Sorry, dude.
Yep.
There it is. Stir the pride, and there's the handshake. Jerome Remy has lost. He took Game 1, but Paul Russell came back. He wins Game 2 and Game 3, and we're all tied. One match apiece and 1 game apiece going to Game 3.
The game to define it.
How's that feel? Sorry to put you on the spot, but
Camille can pull it out.
good answer.
Yeah.
Good
I
answer.
mean, he's Camille.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, Wood's deck is pretty scary, though. I mean, with the spike shot, the betrayal of flesh. I mean, Camille's certainly got a nice one as well, but
Yeah, yeah.
What?
So how was the rest of the tournament? How did it feel going through the Swiss? Any good stories or just?
Like, we got really good sealed decks, like the first and the third sealed deck, and like, we just 2-0'd with these. And the drafts went really well. Like, we tested a lot, so yeah, we did like 50 practice drafts.
50?
Wow.
Yeah.
That counts as a
That's
lot.
probably more team records than I've done in my life. I mean, when you don't make day 2 of any team pro tour, you don't do many then.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's true.
done a lot in Grand Prix, done well in those, but 50 is a lot, yeah.
So you guys did a bunch of practice. Then you went to New Jersey, right?
Yeah,
Tested
yeah,
with a
we
bunch
did,
of the Americans there.
Yeah, like we first did like 20 drafts at home with like Victor and Frank and all the guys, and yeah, we went to New Jersey to test with Target.
How was the Jersey trip?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Did tech emerge out of that, or did you guys already have a pretty good idea what you wanted to do?
No, like we already had a pretty good idea. Yeah.
How did this draft go? Did it go the way you were expecting, or?
Yeah, we just stuck to our strategy, like, yeah, so it went okay.
Whew.
The calm before the storm here.
Yeah, they're shuffling up.
So let's take a look at the 2 deck lists here. We got Camille, and let me find which deck.
Green, blue, red from Camille, plus a random planes. Got an electrostatic bolt in his deck. A couple of green guys. Booming hover guard, thirst for knowledge. Dark Stilish got Pilot's Spellbomb. Then there's the Golden that made the cut. Crystal Shard, one of the key cards. Echoing Truth. A lot of bounce, a lot of tricks. Got a Vidocan Engineer. Darksteel Ingot. Trying to play the best cards of all the colors. Tells a lot to Outrider and Wolf, Tango Down.
Bringer of the White Dawn.
Got that Bringer of the White Drawn. He's trying to bust that out. He's also got Pentad Prism, so he draws the Bringer. He can definitely get it out, but we said it's only the white Bringer, so not the most
I don't
ridiculous
know.
Bringer in Limited.
Just on paper, Wood's deck looks pretty scary. I mean, he's got both Spike Shot Goblin and the Sorcerer. A Whale of Venom that made the cut, which can take out the all his mana. I mean, Betrayal, Flesh. He has a Bolt of his own, Detonate. He has a Fractured Loyalty as well. So, I mean, he can just take the Bringer if it comes down, with his Sorcerer or something. I mean, his deck it looks very solid. Barbed Lightning, bunch of guys,
Camille wound up 5 color, but he didn't get a lot of payoff. He got one Skyreach Manta, he got one Bringer, he's got a Sun Touch Mirror, but it's really only 3 colors. Is that not? Do you guys usually like to draft a 5-color deck, or use Sunburst, or?
Yeah, like if it's there, we'll draft it. But
yeah, I mean,
we don't really go for it.
I mean, one of the things is that you can usually get the mana fixtures cheap enough. That you don't really have to force a Sunburst deck. I mean, ingots are good anyway. Ingots are good in a deck that's not 5 colors, and I mean, you basically decide that you're a 5-color deck in 5th Dawn.
You just
pretty
have a
much
base
figure
green
things out
deck.
by then.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you try and stay green in one other color, fairly solidly, and then you can figure things out when you get there. I mean, I don't know, Yelger. I don't think it looks good for your team here.
No,
but,
I don't think it does.
I mean, it is Camille.
Yeah. He's so good.
Yeah, he's a good one.
He's got the 3 top 8s, and you guys each have
4, I think, isn't he?
No, I think it's 3.
I believe it's 3.
He just has
you
he has
and Jerome
the
have
2 from his
apiece,
rookie
right?
season, the 2 from his first season, and then the 1 in Amsterdam.
the 2 finals, and
this is his 4.
Yeah.
So one more Sunday appearance than Yelger or Jerome.
Yeah.
Burst out of the scenes that year. Got the nickname Finkel Killer. Knocked Finkel out of 2 straight top 8s back in, was that 2001?
Yep.
Chicago.
Chicago.
Chicago. Where'd you finish in that tournament, Brian?
I was 3rd. Where'd you finish in your Chicago, Randy?
Yeah, that'd be first.
I need to go back.
Okay, Chicago's a fine city.
A great city. I like it.
Players studying over their opening hands. Thanks for talking to us, Jelger.
Yeah, no problem.
Good luck. We'll let you.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll let you watch from the rail. We're replacing Yelger here with his teammate Yaron. He's
Shaking
currently
his head.
coming through the door, so we'll get him mic'd up in a moment. No mulligans on either side, or have we figured that out yet?
I think they're thinking
They're
about mulligans
debating
right
mulligan?
now. They're debating. So,
Wood's shaking his head here.
nice to talk to you, Sharon. Welcome to the booth.
Yeah, thanks.
That looked like a tough match. We only got the end of game 3.
Yeah.
We saw game 2. We saw the end of game 3. Neither of those looked like a lot of fun for you.
No, like in game 1, he stalled on 3 lands immediately, and then game 2, I kept that 1 land idle draw.
Sure.
After mulliganing, so I couldn't really mulligan again. And I lost that one because I didn't draw land. And then game 3, like the board was even at one point, and then like I drew like 4 land, you know. And he beaconed, which wasn't really that big a deal because I had the shard out, but
I mean,
the stir of the start.
Yeah, I mean beacon stir is very
when you get overhand, it's not fun.
Yeah, it looks like Wood's mulliganing. So
Indeed.
That's good.
you got something to boost your spirits.
You're allowed to pump the fist. It's
Yeah,
all right.
I have faith in Camille.
Faith in Camille?
Yeah, I've never seen him lose with a green deck, so.
Wow.
Which is impressive considering it's a green deck.
Yeah,
A
fair
lot
enough,
of people
fair
don't
enough.
like green at all. They just, like, some people have the draft strategy and just avoid green at all.
Yeah, that's what we tried a lot in our testing.
Uh-huh.
But the decks we got that way weren't really impressive either. Like,
Okay.
so we just like, and Camille is really good with the green deck. Like he can like play with a couple of bombs and stall out until he gets those bombs, and he has this way of like setting up the game to win with those bombs. And so that's why we figured then might as well draft green anyways. And well, that's good.
Fair enough. Matthew Wood looks at his 6-card draw.
And he's slumping in his chair, which is good.
An honest man pumps the fist there.
Yeah, I'm pumping the fist. No shit. Alright, sorry.
Well, Wood keeps those 6. And we are off. Camille leads with a forest. Wood plays a swamp. You're welcome to hang out with us if you want to. Or
Yeah,
if you want
that's
to
fine.
go,
That's fine.
You want to go root for your boy? That's fine too.
Yeah.
A nice start for Silva.
Yeah, it's pretty good because Camille needs his like red spells to deal with like the spike shot and the full
He
circle.
really doesn't want to see those survive.
Yeah.
So, Wood's Mountain, good for Camille.
Yes, definitely.
Wood having no mountain would also be good for Camille.
I suppose that's fair.
That's fair.
Either way.
Come on, Camille, play a land.
He's got to think about which land to play.
He does that a lot.
Think about which land to play?
Yeah, thinking on turn 3.
He just thinks a lot.
Uh-oh. Oh,
No.
What's that big
Really don't want to see this one. By we, I mean Camille and Hero.
Yes. Yes. Play a land, come on.
Goofy Vandal heads into the red zone. First blood. The winner of this game sends his team through to the finals.
There's a land and a
Tango Golem.
Wow.
Wow. Giant.
That-
Oh, Wood just rolls his eyes.
Yeah,
He leans back in his chair and rolls his eyes.
He doesn't
I
have
had
the
to-
artifact removal. So.
I had to
Exactly what he
mulligan.
did not want to see. was Tango
I had to
Golem.
mulligan. You were man stalled. I was going to be able to. Oh, not Tango Golem. Yeah, that didn't look like a bluff. He was rolling his eyes because he's got no answer to Tango Golem. I'm with you guys.
He's got something though.
He's got-
But
yeah.
He's thinking.
Is he a Barb Lightning?
if he had Barb on,
He had Barb Lightning, he should have killed the Explorer.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe that's why he's shaking his head because he.
Tooth.
Tooth?
Tango Golem.
So he
I got a
mulligan.
tooth.
So he got mulligan
And
twice.
you mulligan twice.
Yeah.
That's that for land number 4.
That Tango Golem, not easy to detonate either.
No, sir.
I mean, he,
Doesn't even look like he has a play this turn.
I'm looking at how he can kill a Tango Golem. He has Bolt and Detonate. And
Bolt.
Betray.
4 mana?
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut's good.
That's a good answer to a Tango
Yeah,
Golem.
fair enough.
5/3 creature must attack.
Camille has his bolt here.
Camille also has a Juggernaut? Is that what you said?
His bolt.
Oh, his bolt.
His bolt
Sorry.
would be a lot of damage.
You could look at it. You an old Juggernaut art fan or a new Juggernaut art fan?
I like the old one. I think.
I agree.
Just for you know the nostalgia purposes. I think. I don't know. The new one just doesn't have the same appeal.
Very true.
Gotta cover all the important issues here.
Journey is good.
Journey is very good. Gets Island of Plains. Island of Mountain. Okay, he wants to make sure he has red mana in case that fella dies. Island could be Echo Creek, which would be very good here. It's like overload.
Or the bolt.
There's the bolt.
Ding!
There's a lot of
Launch.
damage.
Everyone goes smashing into the red zone. Wow. This is exactly
Wood just shaking
Camille
his head.
Cornelissen wanted. Exactly what the Canadians did not want.
Oh man, I love Camille. He's just so good.
I don't know how much of this game is Camille's mastery of magic, but
Wood down to 10.
look happy.
He's got no creatures.
He
Shuffling
has
his hand.
A tooth and 5 land. That's a lot of them.
The
Dross, Crocodile.
Drossi also answers the turn.
5-1, he can trade.
I don't think they want to trade at this point though. Yeah, you obviously want to trade, but he still went down in tempo then.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to take 3 down to 7, and he's still got nothing, so. Getting the trade might not be good enough. He's rooting for a trade.
Obviously.
He's hoping he gets the block.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, not good.
Checking into the forums, there's a comment who said, everyone's always happy to hear that Brian Kibler is eliminated from day 1 of the Pro Tour because he gets to do commentary. I said, good or bad?
That's a crystal shard.
Wow. Crystal Shard means even if Dross Crocodile blocks, Camille Cornelissen can stack damage and then pick the Tango Golem back up again. All bad for Pocket Rockets.
And that Explorer staying back, he recast.
He probably has another play.
If he's got another forest, then he can replay the Tango Golem.
He already played the island this turn.
Oh, so must have a play of some sort. Wood just shakes his head. All right, I block. He's got to. He's on 10.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't just take 5. Yep. Crocodile dies. Tango Golem goes
bad
back.
shape. Yeah, another Explorer.
Black.
Pentad Prism.
He can play Bringer. He can play Bringer. He's got the mana. He can play Bringer next turn. I'm so excited.
I'm excited about the crystal shard.
I'm excited about the potential for a Bringer.
He doesn't need a bringer. He's got Crystal Shard.
Crystal shard Tango Golem. I'm excited about that.
I mean, he can detonate the Crystal Shard, still have to deal with Tango. He does have Betrayal in his deck. He can Betrayal something too.
You can betrayal it now, but next turn crystal shard's gonna be
No,
up again.
if he detonates the Crystal Shard,
Fair
then
enough.
he can Betrayal. Furnace Whelp.
Furnace Well.
That doesn't do enough.
It's a really good card that's not going to do much of anything here.
I mean, that's a Crystal Shard. Nice Whelp.
Another great example where Dragon Whelp will be better.
Yes. Dragon Whelp with a 3 toughness. Huge. He'd actually rather have a Cobalt Golem here.
It's 28 to 8.
So what's Camille's play? Does he attack into that, or
I mean, there's really no reason not to.
you attack and shard?
Yeah, you attack, and if he blocks, you shard him. He can't block, really. I mean, he's just trading his turn for a blue mana. Turning a card for a blue mana. So
Wood takes 2 down to 6. Camille replays the Tango Golem.
Play a bringer. Play it. Do it.
Is it?
Yoshi Soldier.
Yoshi Soldier.
I mean, it's almost a bringer.
It's close enough.
It's comparable. I mean, it's good enough here.
It's close enough, says the man about to go through to the finals.
I was pretty excited though when he tapped that silver for the forest, the mountain.
If he went to take a counter off that prism.
Oh yes.
Wow. It's a big game. That's an iron mirror.
You got it.
Congratulations, sir. Doesn't have to.
Still got to tip your cap to Pocket Rockets, though.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've had an incredible showing.
They've had an incredible
first,
showing.
First Pro Tour.
Wait,
through
wait,
to the
wait.
finals.
We didn't win yet. Come on, guys.
I mean, okay.
Matthew Wood doesn't look like he's in good shape in this game, but he's won a lot of Magic this weekend.
Absolutely.
It's one where they get 15 grand for fourth? Something like that?
I've never made money in a team Pro Tour. You're asking the wrong person.
It's 6,000 ahead, so.
Oh, 18,000, sure.
Oh, that's.
And it,
That's for third.
Yeah,
that's for third.
I think
So
it's 15.
I think it's 15 for fourth.
Oh,
Hello.
hello, there's
There
the
he
handshake.
is.
And he had the barbed lightning. Wow. Camille Cornelissen through to the finals, clinches the game. Von Dutch, hey, congratulations, Sharon.
Yeah, I'm gonna hug someone.
Yeah, go out and hug someone. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you in a little bit. I'll see you after lunch, drafting to the finals. Wow, he had the barbed lightning at the Silvac
Killed the
Explorer.
Explorer.
He could have killed that Silvac Explorer
Wow.
with barbed lightning.
That's-
Unbelievable. Wow.
Wow.
Well, hey, they get $15,000. They get a bunch of pro points. They get qualified for a while. It's was it 12 pro points? So they're qualified for Columbus. They get to go to their second pro tour. Great job by Pocket Rockets.
Absolutely.
And meanwhile, the favorites, it was a lot closer than a lot of us thought it was going to be. Von Dutch was put into the last game, last game, but they did pull it out. Camille Cornelissen won the match. His boys had confidence in him, and he did not let them down. So,
He'll never lose. He just doesn't. He doesn't lose.
great match. So, meanwhile, back in the semifinals, we got another match. We got a pair of Japanese teams that one of whom will be through to the finals, one of whom will take on Von Dutch. And
This one is anyone's guess.
we also have a guest in the booth. We have Bill Stead.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was watching those matches. It's ridiculous that Von Dutch actually won those matches.
You think?
Yeah, actually, we have a pretty similar strategy to the Canadians, and just looking at all their matchups, it seemed that Helger's only card was the Lenin Bola. It was
Okay.
like the only important card in their matchup.
He had two ways to get it.
I mean, that's true, yeah. I mean, they didn't. Was there any chance that they had could they ever get anything against the Bola, like Splash and Unforge or anything?
I mean, I actually think that they had the opportunity to take Unforge.
I would
in that
take
seat.
Unforge no matter what.
Absolutely.
It's,
you have to kill Bola.
Literally, the most important card in that match was only the Bola, and then the other matches were so good. Like, I don't understand how they couldn't win that match. Like, I'm sure that there had to be a way that they could get anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really. We actually commented during the draft that they took the unfortunate seat that wasn't against the white deck.
Right.
What other? Who else had cards to use against the who
I
had?
don't know.
Yeah, none of the other people had cards to Unforge. That's awful. I don't know. But
I don't know, but yeah. I mean, the experience of the Dutch team, managed to pull them through. They clearly knew what was going on, and the Bola dominated that match, and wow.
Scoot in a little closer, get into the shot, Bill.
okay.
Let the viewing public see who you are.
Bill's a pretty guy. I mean,
U.S. national team member Bill Stead.
yeah.
Lost in the finals to Craig Crumples, but
how did you got 2 buys in that top 8, and I lost first round?
Yeah, I played really well in those rounds. It was really rough.
It's a really tight quarterfinal matchup against the Beast deck.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. I'm pretty surprised that Helger's team. I guess just because they played so many drafts. You said he played 50 drafts, so
Yeah.
I mean they probably had a really good understanding of the cards. But whenever you have those decks and those seats, that's like what we came up in 5 minutes with the strategy that they used.
Well, And that's specifically the green deck on the left. Specifically, what we decided we didn't want, and the
you
the black
don't
deck on the
want
right
that.
was what we decided we didn't want. And
I know.
I don't know. Yeah, it seemed strange that they went with basically the
The most
default
obvious
strategy. But I mean, they have the experience to manage to make it work.
I mean, but it proved to the final. Like, I mean, Helger played his match very well. Like,
Absolutely.
everybody played their match very well from what I saw from all the games. So that's probably the most important thing. It's the Canadians, not having enough experience in the draft format, and yeah, exactly, not taking the N forge. Probably just they were just not ready to like quickly draft against the Dutch team. I don't know. I guess that's the only reason they lost, because their matches were great.
Yeah.
How'd you do this weekend?
Well, we 3-3'd. Our decks were pretty poor, and all of our matches came really close. In the final match against Chris's team, we put against on the last day, my teammate could get him down to 1 life.
Oof.
And there was nothing else we could do. That's the closest we could get, because we all played pretty well, and there's nothing we could do. We built our decks really well too, but sometimes you don't win.
What do you think of the team format in general?
The seal deck portion, as you saw, a lot of really powerful teams went down, and I think that it's really important to open. You just have to open the good decks day one, and you just need to forward to get to you just need to get there, because once you get there, you can just win. It's just like with Phoenix Foundation. I mean, a lot of teams really practiced this year, and a lot of teams that really practiced didn't make day two. And I mean, as you saw, like in day two, the people that did practice, like Toget and Helger's team, they all did very well. You know what I mean? And they didn't make any like I mean, I watched a lot of the drafts like afterwards to see like the strategies, and they all just crushed their opponents.
Yeah,
like,
I've always been an advocate of trying to figure out some way to not have sealed deck as part of the format. But
I think Team Sealed is an underrated format. I mean,
it really isn't. Okay, first of all,
Team Sealed, like at like the PTQ level, I think is a fine format. Team Sealed at the Pro Tour level, I think where they're comparable, skill levels that when people can just get better cards and beat you. Like there's once you understand the format well enough, there's too much of a swing value of the cards, I think.
I've heard a lot of people make that argument over the years, but if you go back and you look at the results, like Team Sealed, good teams tend to win at Team Sealed. I think that, in particular,
good teams do well enough, but I mean, like you also have a lot of good teams that just lose because they just don't. I mean, Phoenix Foundation didn't even make day two this year.
Phoenix Foundation didn't make day two this year. Fair enough. And I mean, Nikolai got knocked out as well. But if you look at the depth of the talent that was on day two this year, compare it to the depth of talent at, say, an individual Pro Tour. I'm not saying Team Sealed is as skill testing as Team Rochester. I believe Team Rochester is the most skill testing format in the Pro
Absolutely.
Tour.
Absolutely.
Team Rochester is the most skill intensive format of any Pro Tour format.
But I will put Team Sealed up against constructed or booster draft or Rochester draft. Honestly, if you look at, figure out who the good players are, and it's obviously hard to say exactly who the good players are because, who's got the historical record versus who's putting in the time now. But the depth of talent that we had on day two of this Pro Tour was really high. There were a lot of very good teams, and there weren't very many scrub teams. And even the teams you hadn't heard of, you've got S.A.I. ran the table in sealed deck, and you know what? They only lost one draft match too, and here they're sitting there. Some people think they're the favorite to make it through to the finals. So I think Team Sealed is I believe Team Sealed is underrated. I think it's actually a really skill testing format. I think it's fun, it's skill testing, and maybe it's not quite Team Rochester draft, but
certainly not quite Team Rochester.
Yeah, it's not, definitely.
You guys don't want to play until 3 in the morning either, so.
I mean, you could ask. I mean, just compare them. Like, you'll ask how many sealed deck people did to prepare for this format. Like, even go ask Helger afterwards how many sealed decks he did. He probably did at most 4 or 5, because you just realize. I mean, the colors. I didn't think they would come out as obvious because we only did 2 or 3. The colors come out so obvious, you know what I mean? And then it's just like a few card differences, and then it just depends on where you place your decks, and you just have to hope for good matchups.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that I really hate about Team Sealed is that sometimes you just, I mean, previously when there was obvious draft archetypes that people put in certain seats and you could metagame against that.
Exactly.
I mean, it was somewhat interesting there, but I mean, like sometimes you just end up with your deck against their deck that just crushes yours, and if your matchups were 1 to the left, you would have won.
Exactly. No, that happened to us. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, between all those factors, I'm just not a fan of Team Sealed as a format. I love Rochester. I love Team Rochester.
I guess I'm surrounded. I think that Team Sealed is worth practicing. I think that you can learn the archetypes well, but to each his own. Everybody likes different formats. Did you get it? Did you watch this draft? Did you get a look at these decks?
I unfortunately didn't watch the draft. I was asleep, but
Hey, you got up before noon. That's good, right?
I guess so. But I don't know. I'm not very happy with their. I don't even know how. I guess Helger's team just has a lot of. They're very good. Like
yeah.
They're all incredible players, and that's probably how they got here. I just don't like their drafting strategy.
Interesting. Well, they will be taking on a Japanese team in the finals, and their Japanese teams have settled into the feature match area. We're going to start out on the match between Itaru Ishida and Ichiro Shimura, sorry. Ichiro Shimura. They're figuring out who's going to go first. I've enjoyed talking with you, Bill.
Yeah, you too, man.
Good luck at Worlds.
Thank you.
We'll see you around. So, remind us how this draft went. Set this match up for us, Brian.
This is the draft that we thought came down to a lot of very, very powerful cards in S.A.I.'s decks. And I mean, I need a little update for myself on what exactly Ishida's facing down. He's a right-hand player. He's against Arita, isn't he? I really
here's my notes.
Don't remember who's.
Here's Itaru Ishida. He's playing against.
Oh, this is so confusing. Randy's notes are scribbled here.
Sorry,
completely illegible and completely indiscernible.
It's my chat. All right, we'll figure out who's playing, and we'll be back with coverage of the semifinals momentarily. We'll be right back. Welcome to the Pro Tour Seattle semifinals. I'm Randy Bueller. I'm here with Brian Kibler, and it's time to find out whether S.A.I. or Shop Fireball is going to go through the finals and try to knock off the favorite Dutch team. The first match we're going to check in on is between Itaru Ishida on the left of your screen and Ichiro Shimura on the right of your screen. Itaru Ishida, really one of the sort of, I want to call him the grand old man of Japanese Magic, but he's only 24. It's just he's been playing forever.
He's the core of the Japanese Team Rochester format. I mean, he's made 2 top 8s with Panzer Hunters.
Right.
And I mean, now he's here.
At Grand Prix and Masters.
In the Master Series. Actually, 2 finals of Master Series.
Yeah, they did well during the Master Series.
And here he is in the
But
top
I mean,
4.
it's not just Team Masters. He was the first Japanese player to ever make the top 16 of an individual Pro Tour.
Was he really?
Yes, he was. Back in 1997, I believe it was. Might have been 96. I think it was 97, yeah. He actually had not made the top 8 yet. Like, he's been trying to improve on that top 16. This is his first Sunday appearance. But, I mean, he's got Grand Prix top 8s coming out of his ears.
He won at the time, the largest Grand Prix in history.
Oh, right. And was that Kobe?
I believe it was Kobe.
Yeah. 1,300 people in a Grand Prix. Itaru Ishida came out on top. Extremely well respected by everybody in the Japanese community. I mean, and everybody on the Pro Tour for that matter.
Played the Invitational 2 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, people know this guy. People respect this guy. He's
definitely a force to be reckoned with.
It's nice to finally see him get the Sunday monkey off his back, as it were. So much success in Grand Prix and in Japanese tournaments. And he's done fine on the Pro Tour. I mean, he's been a Pro Tour regular since '97.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if he's been to every single Pro Tour in that stretch, but it's got to be close. Meanwhile, over on the other side, Ichiro Shimura shares his name with a nice Seattle Mariner right fielder. And they were talking about Ichiro, proving that Japanese rookies can win in Seattle. So the less experienced S.A.I. squad trying to get through to the finals.
And this is the now that there's planes in play on the other side of the board. This is the matchup that there it is. There's the card, Culling Scales.
Culling Scales.
I mentioned during the draft that Culling Scales was a card that I knew Itaru would want in their deck, and I mean, just based on the way I saw them draft, and he would understand the importance of that card out of that pack, and I mean the S.A.I. let it through, and here it is, and that card is so absurd against the white deck. I mean, if you look at just what it's going to do here, next turn, kill the skirmisher. Next turn, kill the elder. Next turn, kill the skirmisher or whatever other thing you play. And I mean, he could just sit there and not play things.
And you remember how Atari got that as well. Right. It got open
through
in the
S.A.I.
middle seat. The pack was open in the middle seat, and Taro Ishida, his teammates turned to him. They're like, "What do we do, coach? What do we do, boss? How we drafting this pack?" And he said, "All right, take this and take that." And he knew that he saw what the other team was going to take, and he saw the culling scales was going to go all the way into his own deck, 6th. Absolute brilliance. I mean, those are the plays that win Team Rochester drafts.
Absolutely. It's the little things that turn out to be the huge things. And
I mean, he knew they wanted that card right away, but he saw that they could get it 6th. And yeah, it is just whittling away at Ichiro Shimura's board. I see what I did, by the way. I was confused about who was playing. In my notes, when I called the draft, I called the entire draft with Ryuichi Arita and Ichiro Shimura reversed. My apologies to any of you who were following along. I just wrote the notes down, and I was watching the cards, and I knew which hand was coming in from which side of the table.
It's hard to tell during the draft exactly who's where if you mix it up at all.
Well, if you're in a closet, in a back room with camera shots anyway.
Yeah.
So, my apologies for the confusion. So this is indeed the Angel deck. Ichiro Shimura's deck is double Angel. He's got Pristine Angel and Luminous Angel sitting in his deck, and that's what Taro Ishida's got to deal with. But Taro Ishida, whoa, looks to be doing fine.
Versus nothing. That culling scale's wiped out Ichiro's board completely.
Yep.
Then killed itself.
Yep.
I mean, the tempo swing on that is just enormous.
And then what just was that Terror or?
That was Essence Drain.
Oh, Essence Drain.
So Ishida's up to 16, I believe.
Yeah, Shimura had to do nothing, wait for the culling scales to go away, but now he's trying to reestablish board position, one Essence Drain later, and smash. Taro Ishida's got tremendous tempo. He's in really good shape in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. He has 3 creatures to none, and he's ahead 16-6. There's a Soldier Replica and no land to help it out. Looks like he's facing down lethal if he doesn't block the quad. There's a sword.
Insult
I mean, that's
Scimitar,
game.
Crunch.
That's lethal damage no matter how he blocks. If he blocks quad, he just takes the damage. If he doesn't block quad, quad is flipped. That is game unless he has Off-Strike.
He does play Off-Strike, I believe.
Does he have Off-Strike in his deck?
Yes. Off-Strike is in his deck and there's 1 white mana attack, so
he's got to block. I think he has to block quad and wait for damage to stack, and then Off-Strike something. Just to live. If he doesn't block, maybe. I mean, if he blocks something else, he'll just definitely lose his creature. So, I mean, actually, he could. I don't. Off-Strike, how it works exactly in terms of if you die from the rest of it. Sometimes timing rules with damage prevention and life gain effects get all tricky. I've had it actually ruled different ways in different tournaments. I don't know how it works right now. Yeah, he blocks a quad, stacks damage, Off-Strike.
The Off-Strike replaces the damage, so you don't die if you have an Off-Strike.
Well, if you would die to the rest of the damage.
No, you don't, because it's a replacement effect, so it all happens at the same time. Or what amounts to the same time.
Still 6.
He's still at 6 now, and
Yeah.
that is an active Soldier Replica. If he,
yeah, it was a pretty good Off-Strike.
Yeah, that Off-Strike, I mean, it kept him alive. If it's otherwise you die. So now if you can play a 3-drop and keep Soldier Replica up. Still not in good shape, though.
In the back matches, locks it on Warhammer is facing off against Cranial Plating. A Kata versus Ibumoto match.
It's quite the battle.
Yeah. The Warhammer belongs to Ibumoto. In the other match, Okamoto is ahead on life. Board apparently pretty complicated. Best 2 out of 3 matches. Each match is best 2 out of 3 games. And Taro Ishida trying to put one up on the scoreboard for
He-
shot
he's-
fireball.
He's got all his cards in play, right? You got nothing in hand. Shimura certainly has a grip.
One card.
One card?
Shimura had to hang back for that culling scale, so should have a grip full of stuff. It's really tricky when he's at 6 life. There's a scimitar, and there's the quadrupod that can flip around. It's tough.
So I mean, if he has a removal spell here, he's
Well, he sends the team. Split Ascendant, not very threatening in this situation.
he's not particularly impressive.
Is he obligated to block with it? He's not quite,
No,
right?
He's not.
The soldier can block and kill something.
He can. Soldier Replica will block. Soldier Replica should block.
Sun Touch Mirror if he's going to sack it, right?
Probably.
Block the Sun Touch Mirror, right?
Yeah, he can block. Well, he can block Quadrupod too. He can block Quadrupod and shoot at. I mean, Quadrupod can do the most damage, but as far as mana, I guess. So yeah, he should probably block Sun Touch Mirror and shoot Lurker.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then he gets Sun Touch Mirrored for 4, or rather
Quadrupod for
quadded
4.
for 4.
Down to 2, but keeps his Slith Ascendant.
I mean, he can.
His other
he can
option
chunk
is to
too.
block with Slith Ascendant.
But I mean,
Not clear how that wins in the long game. Right?
yeah.
So how would you block?
I mean, I think. I mean, it really depends what you have in hand. I mean, it depends how you can get back into the game in the following turns. I mean, if he has, for instance, Pristine Angel in hand, he wants to do everything he can to stay alive and prevent as much damage as possible, just so he doesn't die to just an Essence Strain. But I mean, he would die to an Essence Strain next turn anyway. So yeah, he looks like he
Seems quite tempted to chump.
take the take the yeah.
So
Chump.
that's a chump, and then a block, and then he sacks the Soldier Replica. So he actually takes 0 this turn, but he loses both his
entire
creatures,
board.
and all he does is take out a Lurker. Oh, no play from Itaru Ishida. That's a good sign. Well, I mean, good sign for Shimura. At least there's not an additional threat. Maybe he can claw back.
If he
into
plays
it.
Land Angel here,
Land Angel, is that good enough? Land
I mean,
Angel,
that would.
and he has to have Itaru not have what, an Essence
Yeah, he has to
Drain?
have him not have an Essence Drain. And then I mean, he's in it. But actually, is he? 'Cause he could actually, yeah, he still has to not have an Essence Drain. He can do all kinds of neat stuff with Quadrupod, Scimitar, and deal 3, and that's all he's do. But, let's take a look at his deck list. Ichiro Shimura. He has.
Taps 5. Bruiser. Archon Bruiser. He's got a 3/3. It's not the most exciting.
Shows my sense.
Oh, shows him Essence Drain. That's ball game. Taro Ishida just flashes an Essence Drain, and there it goes. Shop Fireball. Well, he's explaining it. Yep. Ichiro sees it. Shimura scoops him up, and Taro Ishida has put the first game win on the board. 1-0 lead, so he'll be trying to put a matchup on the board after they shuffle up. Meanwhile, let's go check in on some bonus coverage on the back tables. Get a good look at Jin Okamoto there. He's got his head in his hands. Get my spotter to give us an update on what's going on. He's playing against Ryuichi Arita. Okamoto's at 18. Arita's at 11. It's like Stinger, Dengard, Squire, and an Explorer for Okamoto. Somber Hoverguard, Nurok Prodigy, and Alpha Mirror for Arita.
There's a Horned Helm too.
Oh, yeah, Horned Helm. Seems like Okamoto's
Pyrite
got the
Spellbomb.
advantage. Pyrite Spellbomb should be good. It can nail the Hoverguard.
If he kills the Hoverguard, then it looks like he's in really good shape.
This is game 1.
Looks like he just goes kill Hoverguard, attack with everything.
Kill Hoverguard.
But I mean,
Bring the
I just
team.
like to attack. So.
Well,
Yeah.
Spellbomb does indeed kill Hoverguard. Jin Okamoto with the same tiger shirt he wore at Worlds when he got second place in Berlin.
I like his fashion sense.
Thought you would. Yep, bring the team. What can Rita do?
Take a lot of damage. Doesn't really have any. I mean, the Horned Helm makes it so he really doesn't have any good blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, Horned Helm when you can move it is so good.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, it's no cranial plating. I mean, it's not as good as headdress or anything. But I mean, the fact that it gives trample is really significant as well. I mean, that on that Dengar, it's quite a beating here. He's at 11. I mean, he's got to block the Stinger, get it off the board, I think. And then, I mean, he can't really block the Dengar or the Squire, or he just loses the creature that blocks it to the Helm movement. Yeah, so he just blocks there. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do with his Alpha Mirror if he's not gonna block the Explorer. It seems like he should just block the Explorer with Alpha Mirror because he reduces the damage he's taking, gets the Explorer off the board. I mean, Alpha Mirror's not really doing anything against the Vanguard, so I mean, unless he has Affinity stuff that he needs to do.
Rita falls to 5. Not looking good. Draws a card. Does it help?
Shackles. That would help. Shackles is so absurd.
Meanwhile, on the other back table, Darksteel Gargoyle has come down for Tsuyoshi Ikeda, so it's now Warhammer versus Gargoyle. Is that Quicksilver Behemoth for Rita?
Yeah, that explains why he didn't block. The affinity stuff he had to do.
Yeah, needed the Alpha Mirror for the affinity abilities.
He basically just didn't block with his land.
You don't block with land. There's lots of times you choose not to block.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't. But in this case, and now, I mean, now the game, he's at 5 life.
Yep.
But I mean, again, Horned Helm can force through a lot of damage. If Okamoto attacks everyone, he blocks 5. I mean, he can actually just attack with everyone, and if he just blocks the Denguard with the Behemoth. If he double blocks it, then it dies and he takes 4. It seems like Okamoto just wants to attack with everyone. Because, I mean, at worst, he trades a guy for bouncing Behemoth and a lot of damage. And I mean, if he doesn't have another land, then it nearly clears the board and puts him to 2 or so. Which is a fine place to be. If you're Okamoto, not if you're Rita. Deep in thought. Yep, everything's coming.
Yep, looks like everything's coming.
I mean, Arita doesn't have much in the way of good blocks here.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, meanwhile, there's news on the other table, and I believe we can just turn our spotter's mic on and let Justin fill you in on what happened in the other game. Go for it, Justin.
All right. Well, in that game, the Iwamoto was racing the Luxon Warhammer against cranial plating, and then was able to take down the cranial plating and take an edge in the match until Darksteel Gargoyle hit the board, and was able to slow things down a bit, and then it was back and forth for a little while until Iwamoto drew the Bola, and the Bola just shut down the whole team.
All right.
Bola.
Leon and Bola once again. So score 1 for S.A.I. Masami Iwamoto wins a game, takes down Tsuyoshi Ikeda thanks to a Leon and Bola timely top deck. and it's a game apiece. So Ibumoto's up a game, and Itaru Ishida's up a game. We'll be back on Itaru Ishida's match against Ichiro Shimura momentarily. We're just going to hang out here for a little bit and see if... oh, yeah, there you get a look. A table we're actually looking at is Ikeda and Ibumoto.
And now we're back.
Yep, we're going to hang out with Jin and see if he can finish off this game. He's got his opponent pretty low on life. Can he finish the deal?
I believe Arita's at 2.
Arita is at 2. That's correct.
And Unforge, I believe. He was to 1.
Which is happening.
He echoing truth the equipment instead of the guy.
Interesting.
I mean, he goes to... That seems like it can't be right. I mean, maybe he's in a null. What happened? We missed a bit.
He unforged the Hornhelm, and then he echoing truth to Razor Golem.
Oh, Razor Golem. I thought that was... Okay.
Yeah, no, that's all.
I thought that was the Hornhelm again. I was like, what?
No. Yeah, he unforged the Hornhelm, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a Tyrannosaurus Rex right there, I believe.
Did you just scoop him up?
I think he did.
All right, yeah, Tyrannax. There you go. Ryushi Arita scoops him up to a Tyrannax, and Jin Okamoto gives his team the lead. They've won 2 of the game 1s, and we're going to start with the rounds of game 2. We'll go back. We'll see if Itaru Ishida can finish off Ichiro Shimura or figure out whether S.A.I. can even that match at a game apiece. There you look at him. Itaru Ishida. Ichiro Shimura, they're ready to go.
Yep. And they're off. Shimura with a quick lead with... ooh, is this a Iron Mirror versus One Land?
Uh-oh.
We've seen this before.
Yes, we have.
These tend not to go well for the person without land. There's a swamp, so he's got game at least. And there's a courier. That's a card that can make a 1-land hand a keeper.
And it explains why. Yeah, exactly. It explains why he kept the land. Oh, Volshock Sorcerer.
Ugh.
Bye-bye Thought Courier. And bye-bye game 2, maybe.
Yep.
Oh, 3rd land.
Culling Scale.
Oof. Oh, my.
That card is so good against the white deck.
Wow.
I mean, that could completely have him in the game.
Yes, absolutely. Unbelievable. It's amazing the quality of Magic that's coming out of Japan these days. It seems like they were always innovative. You know, they always had sort of cool and interesting strategies, but they weren't the best technical players. And so, you know, sometimes they telegraphed their hand because maybe they wore their emotions on their sleeve a little bit too much, or maybe they just didn't quite see all the right plays. It's actually interesting. Their drafting ability has been behind the curve for a couple of years because some of their seminal art strategy articles that were written back in the day were just basically wrong. You know, they was like counter draft at all costs. It's really important to steal cards from other people, which is something the Americans and the Europeans don't do. But recently, they've got their act together. They're starting to read more of the English language websites. They've just kicked their game
like
up.
Brainburst.com.
Like Brainburst.com. Sure.
This is definitely still a game.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looked really bad when there's a
Batana.
Baton of Courage.
Yeah, Baton of Courage. 2 counts.
That's actually interestingly can be really important here in the degree to which it can the degree to which it can stall Shimura's development, because he can keep the scales alive for longer.
Like, you can basically trade it for a turn of call.
Yeah. And he has cleared the board.
Interesting.
Wow.
So what did he just ask? What was the creature that got us here?
It was an Anchorite.
Oh, it was an Anchorite. So it was a 4-mana creature.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, so now Shimura...
He just he's being time walked.
And Ishida's back up to 14 with the Essence Ring. There's Chromatic Sphere. All right.
He really should sack that on his turn.
Seems obvious.
He doesn't want to just give him
Does
an
he
extra
want
turn.
Culling Scales to hang around? That would be surprising.
I mean, it's possible if his hand is like Angel, that he actually wants to keep Culling Scales in play.
Stall, so he draws a couple more lands.
I mean, in that case though, I mean, there's still the opportunity that he could just kill Scales itself.
Why is it, do you think, that the Americans did so bad this weekend? I mean, is there the Europeans and Japanese, what's giving them the edge over the Americans in draft technique?
It's not entirely clear. I mean, a lot of American players don't really play nearly as much Magic anymore. But I mean, there is the target contingent that, you know, tested a ton.
Yeah, you got to give the Europeans credit and the Japanese for putting in the time to prepare. That's fair.
So I mean,
it should be more than that, though, right?
But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, you know, the group in New Jersey.
There were as many
tested
players from
a
New
lot.
Jersey here as there were from the country of Japan.
Absolutely.
About 5 teams.
And I mean, it's. I mean, a lot of the American players, you know, have reprioritized, like, you know, Huey and Bob and that. They don't really play nearly as much Magic anymore.
That's fine, but I mean, that's not
But
everybody.
I mean,
There's lots of others.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, you know, the decline of American Magic in general, as it were, is I mean, pretty. Baton killed itself, or rather, Scales killed itself. I mean, it's really.
Lurker from Ishida attacks into a Mystic from Shimura.
I mean, it's really strange because I mean, it's not just this tournament. I mean, this tournament, you know, with no American in the top 8.
Hover Guard and a Blind Creeper come down for Taro Ishida. So now that Culling
is,
Scales is gone, he is right back in the thick of it.
This game is completely swung around. Wow. I mean, that Mystic, you know, he can stop one guy, but I mean, that's 3 creatures that are with a baton backup. I mean, I think it's difficult to generalize, you know, American Magic as well, because I mean, there are groups that spend a lot more time playing than others.
Cranial plating for Shimura.
But that's the least impressive plating. You know?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like Americans, there's the old school generation that maybe is drifting away from the game. There's new up and coming players. I mean, you've got some talent. You've got some hard workers.
But if you look at the standings just outside the top 4, I mean, Chris Pakula's team was in 5th. I mean, they
finished 8th.
Did they? Chris Pakula. I mean, they were
top
in the
Americans
top 8.
were in 7th.
Really?
Yeah. No Americans in the top 20.
That's
Blind Creeper and the Lurker smash into the red zone. Meanwhile. Oh, so Yoshi Ikeda just played a turn 5 Razormane Masticore on the back table. So that match may be headed to game 3. Ibamoto won the first game, but Ikeda's got Masticore in the house. Oh, Zealot just took it down. No more Masticore.
That's where you want the skeleton shard.
Sure.
Masticore. Get Masticore.
All right, does cranial plating do much here for Shimura?
I mean, he can plating up his.
Oh, how about Pristine Angel? That's the card we were talking about.
That card does a lot.
Probably the most powerful card in the format. Shimura's down to 10, and Ishida's got, what, 4 creatures and a Baton of Courage? But that Pristine Angel is
That's a pristine.
behemoth.
He's just gonna send all his men.
What are you gonna do, right? What else are you gonna do?
Did he not use his Mystic?
He didn't have mana.
For some reason I thought that planes will. Yeah.
No, it's 6 mana for Pristine Angel. He finally drew the 6th land. He tapped out for Pristine Angel, and Ishida's just smashing.
Very normal.
Very calm, cool, collected. Sure, you got an Angel. Yeah. What's my play? My play is try to smash
his deck
you
has
in the
another
face.
Essence Drain in it too. So I mean, if he gets him low enough, he can just. I mean, the Baton can do 2 more damage. If he doesn't block, he's. I mean, that Angel might just not be enough. I think he might be committed to block with Mystic here. I mean, otherwise, yeah, he is committed to block with Mystic here because otherwise he just dies.
Wow.
So I mean, he blocks the
Angel
Hover Guard.
blocks the Hover Guard.
And then blocks the
Mystic blocks Blind Creeper. That seems like the right play.
Yeah, that's got to be right because that requires 2 Baton counters to let him cast another spell.
Right. So the Mystic's gonna die. And Shimura's going to take, is that 5?
5. I mean, if he has an Essence Drain, he just...
If he has an Essence Drain,
and
it's 2 Baton counters and an Essence Drain for the match. Sheet is up a game right now. So if he can pull this out, then he hangs a match win up on the scoreboard.
this has been a really interesting game.
Yeah, it has been. Absolutely.
If he has another creature, it's possible that he wants to use 2 counters on the blind creeper, play his guy.
He who is Haru?
Yes, Haru.
Oh,
That'll give him 4 creatures.
Right.
But no baton counters. I mean, that's the train. He clearly kills him, but I think that would have happened by now.
For sure. We have the largest online audience since birth.
Nice. Thanks for joining us, everyone out there.
Uh-oh, going for the head.
7 life.
Hikaru Ishida uses his baton counters on the flyer, so he deals 2 extra damage, dropping Shimura to 3. His blind creeper dies, and what is it, that Fleshcrafter?
Yep.
Drops a Fleshcrafter. So he's got 3 creatures, and he's got his opponent down to 3. Shimura
So now
quickly untaps.
he gives himself the possibility of just drawing Essence Drain to win now, which, I mean, that's probably his best out now. Because, I mean, he has to just give himself a way to win against that Pristine Angel if there's, backup. Because, I mean, if he had, decided to use the baton to keep the Blind Creeper alive, I mean, then he would, he'd just have Blind Creeper and 3 other creatures. Blind Creeper who can also just die at any time.
Right.
And it wouldn't necessarily be able to break through Pristine Angel if he has more creatures. Pristine Angel is not easy to get past. So that gives him at least the option of, or the opportunity to draw Essence Drain anytime, just win. I don't believe his opponent has any way to gain life or anything like that. So it seems like it was certainly right.
14. Shimura has played a land so far, studying his hand.
One of the reasons that Pristine Angel is so ridiculous is not only is it a 4/4 with protection from everything. I mean, it's much better than Iridescent Angel was, because you can attack with it and play a guy and untap it and block.
There's a couple people on the message boards wondering what the blue circles are on all the cards. Those are actually stamps. Before every Pro Tour, Wizards of the Coast has stamps put on all the cards. That way, we know that the players are playing exactly the cards they drafted. Prevents any shenanigans. Every card that the judges can actually completely reconstruct the draft, because some of the stamps wind up on different places on the card. So yeah, those are stamped cards. You'll actually see Pro Tour stamped cards. Sometimes people will trade them around. It's kind of a cool souvenir the pros get to walk home with, and it makes sure that nobody sneaks any cards into any of their limited decks.
And interestingly enough, if you pay close enough attention, like nobody I know except for Bob Maher.
Yeah, Bob Maher does this.
You can actually recreate the mentally the draft, people's positions, and figure out what pick people took certain cards.
Soldier Replica comes down for Shimura for 1. Yeah, since the judges need the ability to reconstruct the draft, each pack has a stamp at a different place. So if you learn the draft system, you can figure out, oh, that was your first pick in Mirrodin. Oh, I've now seen your Mirrodin first pick. I no longer have to play around Solar Tide.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that is. Bob Maher's been doing that for a couple of years, and it's really it seems really valuable.
Yeah, I mean, it's the small sort of thing that can just give you an edge when you need it. Did Pristine Angel not attack?
Pristine Angel did not attack.
Huh. That seems strange. I mean, I imagine he just didn't want to lose to an instant that could just bounce his Pristine Angel.
Okay.
But at the same time, he needs to just have a Ishida on a clock.
Makes sense. Yeah, Shimura settled for Soldier Replica plus putting Fading
It seems like he has to attack that.
Meanwhile, Itaru untapped and played
Another guy.
Quadrupod?
Another creature that threatens to be lethal.
Yeah, that's true. So it's 3 blockers against 4 creatures, and not all 4 creatures are quite lethal. So Ishida could not quite win with a Swarm. But he could come close.
I mean,
There's also Soldier
replica
Replica that stops anything.
I mean, I really think Shimura can't just sit back and be afraid of an instant, because he's going to lose to a top deck Essence Drain if he doesn't kill Ishida fairly quickly. I mean, he has a 4-turn clock just in Angel alone. One of the sad things about Angel's ability is it can never be equipped basically. you have to tap it and then equip it, and then when it's untapped, it falls off. So poor Angel can't put on the cranial flavor.
It's clearly not good enough.
Shimura, I mean, he still has the other Angel and a Megatog awaiting him in his deck. As well as, I mean, he has that off strike that we saw in Keep Him Alive in Game 1. I mean, could just, if he just drew it, he could just win the game here, too. If Ishida attempts any shenanigans of his own.
I think my favorite part of the blue circles in the cards question, the fact that we finally have our resolution high enough that you can see the little blue circles on the card. And as Pyre 89, among others, have pointed out, we don't allow the players to use sleeves in the top 8s of Pro Tours because they do create glare with the cameras.
We used to, but
yeah, we used to,
but
but
the webcast.
Since the webcast, it's clear that the glare makes it really hard to watch on the web. So we're thinking about you out there on the internet, doing what we can. So you think Ichiro needs to start attacking?
Yeah, I think he absolutely has to start attacking. He can't just let Ishida just build up more creatures or just draw Essence Strain. I mean, I'm looking for Ishida's deck list here. Here it is.
It's one of these green pages.
Yeah.
There's only 12 of them.
I mean, Ishida does have...
There he goes. Angel into the red zone, just like you wanted.
Yeah, I mean...
Ishida takes it down to 10.
I mean, I don't understand why he didn't attack him last turn.
Megatog. And that untaps the Angel.
And that could be very quickly lethal. Between Megatog and Pristine Angel, that's a lot of damage.
Ishida draws. Fingers his creatures. Grimclaw backs. Another potentially lethal attacker. He's got 4 different creatures that could deal lethal damage. I don't know if he has an artifact in his hand for your Fleshcraft. But 4 potential. May not be enough.
4 blockers and a Soldier Replica.
Right.
He has, I'm looking for removal. He has Terror, another Essence Strain.
Shimura. Or is Ishida?
No, Ishida. And that's his removal that he has left. He has a pendant he could draw. That's actually really surprising that he has a pendant like that. Imagine maybe that. Ooh, if he had pendant and culling scales. Kill any 2 things forever.
Shimura doing a bunch of math and a bunch of counting. You're never happy when your opponent's counting. He's got his finger, he's adding up damage points. He's got this. Megatog time is over for 407.
She just aimlessly playing with his card.
Both the other matches seem embroiled in complicated game 2s. So, no real updates from the back tables. S.A.I. won only one of the 3 game 1s, so shot Fireball out to the early lead, but it's still very much anybody's match. Looks like Tsuyoshi Akita's grinding station may be the key in his match against Masabi Iwamoto. Just sort of breaking through a little bit here, a little bit there, trying to even that match at a game apiece. That's the thing where Iwamoto has the one game win that's up on S.A.I.'s side of the scoreboard.
So that's another big spot.
Platinum Angel attacks again, and another Angel, Luminous Angel.
Pristine Angel.
Sorry, Pristine Angel and Luminous Angel. All Angels, all the time. For Ichiro Shimura.
That's lethal damage.
Ishida's at 6, so he maybe can survive one more turn, but that's the most he could possibly survive with, right? How many flying blockers does he have for the Luminous Angel?
He has
just he's got 2. The Soldier Replica can't quite make, well, he can block anyway. Looks like Ishida is going to have one more turn after this one, and that's it. Plays Darksteel Pendant, so he'll get to look at 3 cards in his search for his last Essence Strain. He can look at the end of Shimura's turn, he can look on his upkeep.
I actually hope that Shimura can't kill him this turn, and then he gets dependent into his Essence Drain, and I'll feel so justified for saying that he really should back. I'll feel so smart. Because, I mean, I really don't know how the reason to bash my performance this weekend.
Oh, God.
He's counting, are you dead? Are you
Can
dead?
he kill him now? Pristine Angel will have... I guess he actually needs an instant to avoid, otherwise he can chump block the Pristine Angel, right? So maybe he even has more than one turn? Is that possible? Like it's time to start chumping Pristine Angel, right?
6.
Probably.
He's just got to get on the Essence Drain plan. He's not going to get through for damage, I don't think. He's got 5 creatures against 5, including the Soldier up.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely starts jumping, because, I mean, he has to get to that Essence Drain. Only way he's going to win this game. His opponent has Luminous Angel, Pristine Angel, and Megaton. This is not a game you attack to win. Seems to be asking the judge for some sort of ruling.
Quite the board each version has got.
A little update on one of our back table matches.
Well, we'll let Justin deliver his own update.
Okay, fine.
See if we can
He
turn.
was
Oh,
kind.
hold on.
Oh.
Never mind.
A lot
Ichiro
of attackers.
Shimura is sending a bunch of men into the red zone. The update is that Jin Okamoto has a big slip, 4-4 slip.
Oh, so you can say that I can't, Randy, huh? I see how it is.
I didn't know Shimura was ready to shove into the red zone. We got no time for updates. There's 2 angels and a Megatog and attacking.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't when I was saying it. They were when you were. Huh. I see how it is.
Oof.
That instant that is giving it protection.
Yeah, that's the game. All right, one apiece. Ataru Ishida cannot find the Essence Drain he needed. I wonder if it was on top, actually, if he was going to find it with a Darksteel Pendant. But we'll never know. Ichiro Shimura has evened his match at 1 game apiece, and we'll go check in on some of the back table games. We will go check on the back left match between Tsuyoshi Ikeda and Masami Iwamoto.
I hope they both end soon. I'm hungry.
In this match, Masami Iwamoto is up a game. Tsuyoshi Ikeda is trying to even it on behalf of Shop Fireball. Giant red zone attack.
Let's get in there. Dear me.
All right, I'm gonna cue Justin for this. Let's see if we can turn the spotter's audio on.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it, Justin.
All right, we got 2 Juggernauts, 2 Tangle Spiders, one of which has grafted war gear on it. There's a battered golem, a Nim replica, and it's coming after. On the other side, we've got 2 Quicksilver Behemoths, 2 Trinket Rangers, a Hover Guard Observer, and a Pewter Golem.
Wow.
This is a lot of fellas. A lot of fellas.
Iwamoto's up 1 game.
So who's attacking?
Iwamoto's attacking.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the white symbol here? You got
11 and 10.
11. Iwamoto's at 11, and Akida's at 10.
So Masami Iwamoto's on the right hand of your screen, representing S.A.I.
Dear me.
He's attacking into Shop Fireball's Tsuyoshi Ikeda, who's trying to figure out how to block.
I mean, those Juggernauts, they don't have much of a choice.
There's Ikeda. So again, a must attack.
Must attack.
He's going in. Thanks for the update, Justin.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, that's a skeleton shard.
Oof.
That makes those attackers. Ugh. Ugh. That Hover Guard Observer, he can't do any blocking. And those are some expensive behemoths to replay.
So if Iwamoto wins this, if he's able to pound through, he puts a match win up for S.A.I. Go See David on the boards has also chimed in. The coverage is great, guys. I agree. We all enjoyed Kibler's color commentary at the expense of his performance.
Ugh.
It's good to have fans, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'll just keep doing well at Nationals and Grand Prix, where there is no webcast coverage, so I can keep doing that. Yeah, great.
Ikeda still can't figure out how to block here. Iwamoto's just staring over.
I mean, it's not an easy block.
No, it's
Not
very
by any
complicated
stretch.
blow position.
I mean, he's at 10. I mean, you really don't want to block the artifact creatures because they're just gonna kill you. You know, they're just gonna come back with skeleton shards.
That's rough.
Yeah, this is looking really ugly for Akita. He's counting cards. Oh wow!
Interestingly, Iwamoto has 2 cards left in his library. That would be the grinding station where Justin was updating us on earlier.
He's trying to figure out how many spells he has left. He's counting spells.
It is Team Rochester draft. It's all face up. He ought to know exactly what's going on.
This is really
2枚のはず
2 cards left in the library.
He's just trying to figure out if he can hang on. I don't think he can hang on. For the turn.
He's up off top of the chair.
これをいけるようにスルーすれば俺の勝ちだ
Trying to figure out what's going on.
Akita, he's a really fun guy to play against.
Yeah?
I played him in San Diego, and Okamoto seems to
meanwhile,
have
Jin
taken his
Okamoto
match.
has taken next to match, right?
Yep.
難しい
Yeah, Jin
な
Okamoto 2-0 defeats Ryuichi Arita. So 1 match to Shop Fireball. They only need 1 more.
Yeah, I played Akita in San Diego, and we had a really crazy match. Like one game I just bashed him. The next game he furnace dragged me, then Reaver Demoned me in the same game. And then the following game, my pair of drill skimmers managed to kill him despite his Triskelion because they were protecting each other. He couldn't kill my other artifact. He couldn't kill any of them. So the 2 of them took him down.
Iwamoto counting the top of his 2-card library.
考えるそれは多分かなりの確率で確定してるこれブロッカーが1体出てこれがブロッ
Alright,
クされ
I
て
think Ikada's figured out what's going on.
さらにマイナイトされるか
Trying
ら
to figure out
難しいな
like how much he can replay this turn as well. Oh, that's a Dawn Deflection on a land, so that's a lot of mana.
Can you tell what's going on down there, Justin?
No.
Good answer.
Good answer.
An honest man.
こいつパワー6いや違うぞいやそうですということは4止められて
Taking a look at Akita's deck list, seeing what he could have to get out of this situation. Not seeing much.
2点として
Is the grinding station die, I guess?
Yeah, got killed.
1個止められて1個減って2点あと10点通せばいいからこんだけ通れば死ぬはず1個止められて
See, this is the sort of situation that was one of the reasons why I used to really like Constructed more than Limited. It's just made my brain hurt. I've gotten better at Limited, but this still makes my brain hurt.
Ikeda is actually talking through all the different scenarios. See if we can get a translator so we can figure what he's figured out.
無理よく気づいたら無理だよ
Black Market, I'll have to bounce him back. Don't know if I'll be able to replace them all.
どうせ無理ならラストカードだし
そうだね。いいよ、ゆっくりで。
こいつら死ぬようにブロックしてもいいんや結局は
Sure, he can win this game.
え
頭いいですね。
There's a question in the forum about Bob Maher's invitational card. Bob Maher has indeed been cornered. Mark Rosewater has demanded a card out of him by the end of the weekend. Bob apparently wants a small black creature, like a BB-2-1.
Oh, I heard about this.
BB-2-1 with some sort of card drawing ability. The one that I heard proposed, which is ridiculous, is
pay the life equals like
at the beginning of your upkeep, you may reveal. Yeah, so Maher's card was at the beginning of your upkeep, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, pay life equals its converted mana cost, put it in your hand.
Dear God. That's completely absurd.
じゃあお前は死んでほしいな、どっちかといえば。
Good
If
luck
it,
with that one, Bob.
was mandatory, it might not be ridiculous. Or if it cost a bunch of mana, it might not be ridiculous. Like, I think we might be able to work with something, but I mean, it's obviously can't be quite.
If it's mandatory, it's almost suicide.
Right.
Like,
There's some card somewhere in there.
it's yeah.
But some sort of BB-2-1 with deck manipulation. Or the other one I heard him suggest was BB-2-1. When it comes into play, name a card, reveal cards from the top of your library to hit that card, and then leave it on top of your library. Just 187 demonic tutor on a 2-1.
That seems a bit too good.
Yeah, again, too good, but I mean, there's something there. We'll be able to
It could be a 2-1 with something. It should actually just be straight up consult on a 2-1.
Sure.
That it removes the top 6. Because you could actually just get bashed by it.
All right, I think we have a translator mic'd up. I'm going to send it down to the translator on the floor who may be able to fill us on. Yeah, we can hear you. So what's going on? What's he talking about?
Ed, you can go ahead and translate what he's exactly saying. They're listening.
何を喋ったかもう通訳してくれって言われてますね。
次のアタックで2点あって、
I speak English. I want to. So on next turn. あんまり動けない。はい。
Oh, we're all live. Okay. Wonderful.
Hello.
How's the light for each other?
There's been a lot of contemplation about what he could draw next turn, how he's going to play out. He's just been like talking through all of the scenarios.
This is one of the longest attack phases I've ever seen.
I mean, this is one of the some of the most creatures I've ever seen in play at one time.
Yeah.
It's sure tough to win anything.
Once I did attack with 192 worm tokens, though.
Yeah, there was no mystery there. They were just showing off.
Yeah, exactly. But it was fun. I beat Magic last night, by the way, or 2 nights ago. Yeah, I put a Beacon of Tomorrows on Panoptic Mirror in draft. I went infinite to every turn for the rest of the game in draft. I mean, of course, I only had it in my deck to do that.
Sure.
But it was awesome. I lost every other game though, because I had it in my deck. But I beat Magic. I really don't have any reason to play anymore because I went infinite in draft. The only reason I have to play is to do it again, better.
See, top deck something. He's supposed to top deck something, like a new blocker or new attacker, and then he's taking it.
So Cade is trying to figure out. He needs the top deck in order to survive the next turn. So he's trying to figure out. All right, if I draw this, then this would retroactively have been the right play. If I draw the other thing, then that would have turned out to be right.
Well, I mean,
he's also strongly considering the ability to counterattack for the win, as well as stalling long enough to get the cards, to win via decking.
Wow. He could win via decking. He could win via lethal counterattack.
I don't think he can survive 2 more attack phases. That doesn't seem possible to me. I don't know.
So you think he should be playing for the counterattack?
It seems like he's got to figure out some way to survive and attack back for the win. It doesn't seem like there's any.
Damage counting, and he's joking about it is my damage or not his damage after.
This attack takes so long because this turn is planning the rest of the game.
Yeah, this attack decides the game.
It is impossible.
He's certainly spending enough time to think about it.
He is sure it is impossible.
What are those blocks? Those look like blocks.
It is just for thinking about blocking.
He's just thinking about it. These aren't official.
Not just actual blocking. Thinking about blocking.
Lining them up, seeing how they look.
So he 7. Okay. I'm trying to figure this out. now I'm going to go to work on this. Sure, I won't figure it out, but he's been thinking a lot more than I have.
Good luck.
Yeah. 7. If you keep one of those, is it possible to not? Ooh, yeah, that's too much damage though. All right, so move it. If you move a Trinket Mage into the Juggernaut, then you take 8. I think he might be able. I think if he blocks a Trinket Mage and a Juggernaut, I don't think he wants to let any of the artifact creatures die. Because if he doesn't let any of the artifact creatures die, then
Skeleton Shard's not relevant.
I don't know if his opponent has an artifact creature in his graveyard.
Probably.
I mean, if it's this late in the game, he's just been building them up. He probably won't. So if he can block, jump with both Trinket Mages on archers. This is. It very well may be a possibility. Try and figure this out. That'd be 6. And he can't let those and a Juggernaut through. So he chumps there. Chumps on Juggernaut.
That's the blocks? Alright, we got blocks.
All right, read them off to us, Justin.
Alright, so we've got a Trinket Mage blocking the Nim replica. We've got another Trinket Mage blocking a Battered Golem. The 2 Quicksilver Behemoths are both blocking Juggernauts. The Pewter Golem is blocking the Grafted Wargear and Tangle Spider, and the other Tangle Spider and the Telgelot Archers are getting it.
All right. So he's going to take 5, and there's going to be a lot of carnage.
A lot of carnage. Many men will die in this combat.
Damage is on the stack. The trick. Oh, uses the Nim replica to give the Golem -1/-1.
Okay.
Is that relevant?
I don't know. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to prevent any guy just with the Nim, so.
Much carnage.
Lots of dead creatures.
Smash. Everybody dies. Except 5 damage is done, so Ikeda falls to 5. Ibamoto uses his Skeleton Shard to pick the Nim replica back up again. Oh, and he finishes off the Golem. 2 hits from the Nim replica.
That was.
There you go. All right. Can Ikeda survive? Ikeda's at 5. No, there it is. Wow.
That's the
match. No, that's that's the match. Ibamoto. So one match apiece.
Going to Itaru Ishida.
We kick it back to Itaru Ishida and Ichiro Shimura. We started there and we will end there.
And this is game 3.
Game 3, match 3. Masabi Ibamoto just finished off the 2-0 sweep of Sugoshi Ikeda. Meanwhile, Jin Okamoto returned the favor, sweeping Ryuichi Arita. Shop Fireball versus S.A.I. It comes down to Itaru and Ichiro.
I think Ichiro has to have the advantage just because this is Seattle.
Yeah, it is Seattle.
It is Seattle.
He spells it a little differently. It might be Ichiru. I could be pronouncing it wrong.
It's not as fun that way.
All right, there you get a good look at him. They've been waiting for that attack phase to end all attack phases, and Ishida was on the play, leads off, and we're off. The winner of... Oh, he spells it Ichiro. Oh, maybe my printout was wrong.
Maybe he's just...
In honor, he's changed.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of those where it's alternate spellings. You can translate the characters different ways. Like, we just discovered Masashi Oiso only has 1 O, or stuff like that. Or 1 O at the beginning. Whew. The winner of this game advances his team to the finals to take on Von Dutch. That'll be after a lunch break, by the way. So after this game, we're going to replay a couple of the old ESPN Magic videos. So those of you watching out on the internet may enjoy the coverage.
So we play mine? Are we playing mine?
We're replaying Worlds 98, the last time the Pro Tour was in Seattle. And we are replaying the draft challenge between Team Antarctica and Black Ops.
That was ages ago. That was a Rebel PT. That's awesome.
That seems like, we both brought out the team format in the Seattle Pro Tours.
Makes sense. Although we could just do the one I'm in, just because I'm in it.
Just because you're in it?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, meanwhile, Chittering Rats from Itaru Ishida has deprived Shimura of a draw step. Ishida also has a Thought Courier, so pretty decent start for his black-blue deck.
A rat is so good. A rat is so good. I love a rat.
By the way, there's a question. Any plans to release? Rem 134 wants to know if we're going to release Pro Tour or Worlds matches on DVD. There are currently no plans, but we do plan to have archives of all the stuff we're doing for the webcast. So we're going to keep doing the webcast, and sort of eventually they'll all wind up on the net just in archived form. And as far as the old stuff goes, we've talked about it from time to time, but it's not in a real convenient format right now. We may look into seeing what we can do with that old footage, but there aren't any plans right now.
I think there probably would be, at least sort of a highlight sort of thing. You know,
Uh-huh.
having like, you know, the finals matches of each Pro Tour, you know, that you have on tape, you know, on DVD. I think that'd be really interesting to have. I mean, like I know I'd buy it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in that.
Fair enough. We'll look into it.
The more, now that I think about it, that would be really awesome.
What's on this thing
I
exactly?
mean, if you just
I
had
wasn't
the
listening.
finals match of every Pro Tour that you have the footage for,
Sure.
I mean, that would just be fantastic. You know, that'd be, and you could do like, you know, little highlight things too of each one or something like that. I mean, I would love to see that.
Sheeta served with his rat. Soldier replica stepped up.
Ingot.
23. 24.
Programmer man wants to know, why do the players shuffle their hands? It's annoying, the sound that it makes. The sound of snapping cards detracts from the coverage is worse than static to the ears of the viewers.
I'm actually incredibly guilty of that. I remember when I was on stage in Chicago, I was actually asked to stop shuffling my head so much because I just have this incredible nervous habit. Not really nervous habit really, but just this, you know, habit, I guess, of just like shuffling through my head at blazing speed constantly.
Shimura gaining life off that elder. Not a whole lot going on. Oh, the bola's down now.
Ooh.
That's big.
As we saw, the blue-black deck against the bola is not happy. Let's take a look at. He does have the culling scales that he can dig to
Yeah, he's
get
digging.
rid of that bola and just about everything else on his opponent's board. There's a somber hover guard.
Yeah, almost everybody on the Pro Tour shuffles their hand. I think it started because people don't want you to know if people were trying to disguise the fact that they were playing a card they draw.
Mm-hmm.
So if your opponent knows that you just played the card you drew that turn, then it sort of tells them something about their hand. So most people will draw a card and then shuffle their hand so they're not giving away any information about what card they're about to play. And, you know, whether they've been sitting on it for a couple turns trying to set it up or whether they just drew it off the top. It's just information that you don't want your opponent to have.
Absolutely.
So I think that's where it started. Now it's just become ingrained. Almost every Pro Tour player has it. It's subconscious. They don't even think about it. They just do it because they learned initially, I'm supposed to cover up this information, and then...
Yeah, I actually just sit there. We'll just sit there with anything that's sort of card-shaped and shuffle them now. Like, I'll sit at a bar with coasters.
Really?
And just sit there and shuffle them in my hand. It's actually that ingrained in me.
Huh.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like business cards, anything.
Interesting. Yeah, it does sound, by the way. Programmer Man's comment also said, I seem to be ignoring the questions forum. I think I can watch one forum at a time. The general discussion forum seems like the easiest place to get our attention.
There's a questions forum?
There's supposed to be this questions forum, but I don't see anything there other than this post. Other than a poll. That's why I'm confused.
Well, is there...
Oh, there's stuff. All right.
Uh-huh.
What year are the commercials from the webcast from? Scattered through the late 90s and early 2000s.
And one of them, in fact, has world champion Brian Selvin as one of the scientists.
Really?
Yeah, I believe it's the org one.
Oh.
Actually, it might not be the org one. Maybe, I don't know, but he's, you know, it's just kind of amusing that, like, he's just in the Magic commercial as random scientist in the R&D lab, and it's actually former world champion.
All right. Apparently I can watch both forums, so I'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, there's a game of Magic being played. Pretty big game, pretty important game.
I'm sort of surprised that Itaru has so much land in play, considering he has a looter.
Yeah, it's true. Does ESPN still broadcast anything having to do with Magic? No, they do not. We've switched to the live webcast instead. We think we'd rather show the events live, and you know, with the interactive forums and all the stuff, we think we can do a better job for Magic fans anyway. So that is the answer to your question. Too quick to see. Too quick to see. Sure.
Like sort of translating a license plate there.
There was a game. There was a game show that had that for a while.
Was
Bumper
it?
Stumpers or something.
Really?
I think I'm showing my age.
How about Press Your Luck?
That was a good one.
No
No
whammy,
whammies,
no
no
whammy, no whammy. Stop. There was some dude who broke the game.
Yeah, he broke the game. He figured out
broke
the pattern.
game. That guy was awesome. He's like my hero. He broke the game. He just figured out the pattern and just went infinite.
Yep.
He actually just like, in the beginning just sort of set back, but then when he finally got control, he just they made him stop. It was so awesome. Did he stop himself? Oh yeah.
He was getting tired and afraid he would miss it.
It went on so long that he was he was getting tired.
He just took his money rather than risk messing up.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to require a lot of concentration to just follow the pattern exactly within like a split second.
Bull Shock Sorcerer comes down. That's pretty big. That kills the looter finally. Ishida's been overwhelming the Bola just by getting more guys with his looter. He's got a Spire Golem and a Somber Hover Guard and a Looming. Is that Looming Hover Guard?
That's Advanced Hover Guard.
Advanced Hover Guard. Well, some hover. So he's been sort of overwhelming the Bola and starting to get in some damage. Eventually, I mean, the Elder gave Ichiro such a cushion.
Yeah, Elder can just be huge.
Shimura's down to 21 now, so Itaru has evened it back up again. And now what? Oh, Essence Drain on the Sorcerer. Yep. 22 to 21. Andrew Brown said he would also buy a best of DVD. Show some Kibler playing Magic footage. I don't think we have any of that. You haven't played on Sunday in like 5 years.
It has been so long.
Bola taps Hover Guard. Ishida sends his flyers again.
17, Ishida 22.
People are actually actively asking
Ishida's
to
got
see
the
me
Essence
play
Drain.
Magic. This is awesome.
Essence Drains, was that an Anchorite or a Mystic?
He Essence Drained again?
Yeah. Second Essence Drain. Ishida's up to 25 and keeps attacking with those flyers. Shimura's down to 17 now, despite all the Elder Life he's gained.
I'm sort of confused why he's using the. It seems like he might want to use the Bola to tap the Spire Golem rather than the Somber Hover Guard because he can kill the Hover Guard with his Soldier Replica. It's possible he just wants to keep the Soldier Replica there just in case. But I mean, it's costing him 2 life a turn.
1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Chakra Nugget wants to know if the stamps are done by the printing room at Wizards. What we do, so Wizards doesn't own a printing press. We contract out to printers. That's how that works. But then what we do for the Pro Tour stamps is literally open up booster packs and sit there and stamp them one by one and then put them in these little plastic cases. So
Also is when they remove the foils from the pack.
right, we take all the foils out, so there's no foils in the Pro Tour. We take the foils out of the packs, put stamps on them, put them in these little plastic cases, and then that's what we hand out at the Pro Tour for people to draft from.
I had a horrifically miscut Pentavis in one of my decks.
Oh yeah?
It was literally like miscut down to the edge of the like inside box.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I played it in the sleeve, so it didn't matter. But it was kind of amusing.
Weird.
It was the only miscut card in the pack too, like in all the decks.
Well, the rares come off of different sheets.
Yeah,
that makes sense. True. I believe the judges get all the foils that are pulled out of the packs. I'm sure somebody's wondering that. Got to keep the judges happy.
Exactly.
Is that Rain of Rust? Bye-bye Spire Golem. Yep. Well, that slows things down a lot.
Yeah, now
the Bola keeps tapping the Somber Hover Guard. And it's only 2 a turn.
The advanced Hover Guards, well, I mean, he can actually sack something to his Thermal Navigator to kill the advanced Hover Guard if he wants to.
Yeah, it's an option. You trade a mirror in for... Oh, you trade what, mirror?
Trade mirror and Thermal Navigator.
Doesn't seem interested. I mean, he could have
Yeah,
also sacked the Soldier
He still
Replica.
needs his mana here. No, he can't sack a Soldier Replica until he has Hover Guard. It's Glimmering Angel.
Oh, right. That could be.
It's actually really interesting how good Glimmering Angel was and how much worse Advanced Hover Guard is. I mean, this format's just so much more tempo oriented that and so much less removal oriented in a lot of senses that the ability is not worth the mana that you have to pay for it.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's still a fine card, but I mean, Glimmering Angel used to be incredibly powerful, particularly because there was Armadillo Cloak then too. So. Armadillo Cloak.
That was a good one. Now I'm becoming addicted to reading the forum. How many judges are there? I have no idea. A bunch. Is there a Brian Kibler fan club? There what? There once was.
There actually used to be. There actually was like this girl from California who just made a fan page for me. It was hilarious.
Did you ever meet her?
No.
Probably 12 or something.
No, she was like 20 something.
Huh.
It was like the We Love Brian. I mean, I actually
I saw
talked
it once.
to her. I actually talked to her like instant messenger because someone messaged me and was like, "Hey, this girl made this fan page," and I went and saw it, and it had like parts in the background and stuff. It was so weird, but it was so neat because like.
Oh, Ishida is sending a bunch.
Whoa.
Not quite the team. Bullet Tap Hover Guard, just like it's been.
There's a lot of men.
But all of a sudden, Chittering Rats, Flesh Grafter, and Blind Creeper are coming along for the ride, not just the Blooming Hover Guard. Advanced Hover Guard. The Glimmering Angel. Can I just call it Glimmering Angel? Too many Hover Guards.
Yeah, apparently
Memnarch needs all his stuff guarded by flying blue creatures.
Apparently BDM's blog had a lot of card names that were just old card names rather than the current card names.
Sure.
He kept talking about Krosan Berserkers and stuff.
So, how's this block play out?
It looks like
Shimura's still at 15. Does this mean that Ishida's telegraphing a trick of some kind, or?
I mean, none of those creatures are gonna just get wrecked in combat. So. I mean, it looks like he probably doesn't want to block the. Well, if he blocks Flesh Grafter with Soldier Replica, he can then shoot Blind Creeper. I mean, he could double block something with. Yeah, it looks like if he double block Rats with Soldier Replica and Mirror, and then stack damage and shoot Blind Creeper. Although the Flesh Grafter, if Ishida just discards 7 artifacts, will kill him. But I don't think he has 7 cards and or artifacts.
Okay.
Alright, so Navigator steps in front of Blind Creeper.
Well, he's.
Replica, Soldier Replica.
Oh, if he has Awestrike here, this could be a giant beating.
And a Mirror step in front of the Flesh Grafter. Looks like Shimura is willing to take 4, and he wants to threaten to kill the Flesh Grafter.
Well, I mean, he could also. I mean, this. Blocking the Blind Creeper with the Thermal Navigator means that
he can't. Yeah, it means Ishida can't play a spell without losing his Blind Creeper.
Blind Creeper. Or if he has Awestrike, then he can Awestrike something. And yeah, looks like an Awestrike.
Yes, there's the Awestrike. So Blind Creeper is awestruck. Fleshgrafter dies and takes a mirror down with it, right? Or did he discard an artifact?
No, he did not.
So Blind Creeper's not dead yet, right?
Blind Creeper is dead. He cast a spell.
Oh, All Strike kills it. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Oh, yeah. It's all good.
So that was Ostrike and Mirror for Blind. Is that a pendant? Pendant?
Darksteel Pendant.
Pendant can actually be really good here.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the mid game, so just digging for spells.
Yeah.
If he can keep putting his land on the bottom, he could get a real advantage.
I mean, in a game where you're stalled against the Bola, Pendant can be really good.
Shimura's at 13. That attack didn't go real well for Ishida.
It didn't go badly. He has to get rid of the Ostrike.
So what, he traded Blind Creeper?
He traded Blind Creeper and Fleshgrafter for Ostrike and a Mirror.
I guess it's 2 for 2. He didn't lose any card advantage, but... I think he lost a little bit of quality.
The thing is that the Blind Creeper is not going to be good later, right? I mean, the Blind Creeper can just die, potentially.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, and the more spells that each player gets to, or that Shimura gets to save up. If he doesn't have any sort of aggression, he doesn't want to just leave Blind Creeper out there and wait.
Sure. Meanwhile, he's got to be worried about Angel Megatron, right?
I mean, he needs to kill his opponent.
The pressure's on Ishida to try to win before Angels come out to play.
I mean, he really wants to get the Culling Scales to get rid of the Bola and the Elder and such. I mean, with Pendant in play, he can keep it around forever and just keep killing anything that costs 2 or less.
Reminder to all the viewers, we will be back on the air at 2 o'clock Pacific. We'll be watching the finals draft. It'll be Von Dutch versus whoever wins this game. Bola taps, Somber Hover Guard yet again. There goes Glimmering Angel into the red zone yet again. 24 to 11, and Scavenging Scarab.
Yep.
Random 3/3 ground creature.
Any Angels. I mean, either Angel is just going to be...
Yeah, either Angel seems like it would send S.A.I. through.
So there is the Pendant. Getting deep.
Sheeted digging. There he goes. That card. Leaves it on top.
You never
happy. You're never happy.
Same thing, when someone scries and leaves both on top, you're just like,
so bad.
Oh God.
What is going to happen?
You always want to see both at the bottom.
It was Insult Scimitar.
That's a nice one.
So it is. Does he equip up the Glimmering Angel or
the Alpha?
Goes for Alpha Mirror. So that's what, 3/6? You can attack on the ground with it now, huh?
What does he make respond?
What would he respond with?
I don't know. Let me look. He could respond with... I don't see anything. See, Ben Rubin would be very upset he's not playing his Oracle in his eye. To accelerate his Angels and his Megatog? Golem's Eye. Wow. He does have 2 mirrors. Maybe he has an excuse. Yeah, I don't see anything he could really respond with. Except for... Oh. Taps that.
Alright, Hover Guard gets tapped. And here comes the whole team. The Rat, the Big Alpha Mirror, the Flyer, and the Scarab.
That Scimitar is so good.
Insult Scimitar?
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people attack into it. See, this is actually a situation in which this is very significant that he actually tapped his equipment, which shouldn't be tapped.
Because
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be tapped.
Because people attack into you just having your Scimitar on a guy, and you're just like, oh,
pop it off the
guy, but.
How does Shimura block? Seems like he's willing to trade the Navigator for the Rat. And Soldier Replica loses in that fight, right?
Yeah,
so Soldier Replica will kill Scarab. Sure. Trade Replica for Scarab. Rat for Navigator. Takes 2. And his board has been fairly depleted at this point.
He's on drawing an angel.
He needs to draw an angel. Needs it soon. Draws.
If it's an angel, I would personally just toss it off the board.
Windmill slam.
If I'm playing, a deciding game of a deciding match, I get my slam on. He's got a lot of land though.
Or Elder picks up the bola again.
That's
Ishida's dealt for what, like 30 damage so far?
He's dealt a lot of damage.
And Elder's bought a lot of time, but did it by enough. Can Shimura come up with the angel he needs? Mirror chinks away. Ishida digs with the pendant and leaves it on top.
Oh my god.
Leaves it on top again. Shimura's down to 10.
See, if he taps the Alpha Mirror too, he can just go make a guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, well, it's like the Elder and the Somber Hoverguard do their familiar dance.
5U.
5 damage comes over. Cuts Shimura's life total in half. And
Ooh,
Rimclaw bats.
God, that's a bat.
Plenty of life to feed that. Now or never.
It's not a slam.
Shimura doesn't look
it's
all that happy.
unclear if you can slam to win.
Yeah. Angel might not even be enough.
It's actually unclear that has he ever put a card on the bottom with pendant?
Not yet.
Yeah, so that pendant, well, theoretically, could have a huge impact on the game. Has yet to do anything.
Sure. Shimura doesn't look beat. I mean, he's thinking.
Yeah. I mean, Ataru is at 23 too.
Yeah.
It's
Elder picks up the bola. Same old.
He's already cast his off, so I don't think he has anything that he can do to live if he says go.
Says go. Wow. Pendant.
Goes to the bottom.
Card goes to the bottom. Search on upkeep?
Yeah, I think so.
Makes sense. Upkeep? Oh, he just draws. Oh, yeah. Okay, searches. That one goes to the bottom. So, got 2 of those out of the way.
And that's a potentially lethal bat.
Threatens to attack.
I mean, his team is lethal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the Flyers look lethal. Taps the bat. Yeah, there it is. Wow, Ataru Ishida and Shop Fireball through to the finals. That's going to be quite a match.
That'll be big.
Shop Fireball versus Von Dutch. Those were the stars coming into this.
2 favorites.
The 2 favorites.
Their semifinal matches, and we'll see them in the finals.
There's the high five. There's another high five. Congratulations, guys. We will see you guys at 2 o'clock. They'll be drafting the decks at 2. Then, in the meantime, we're going to go have lunch while you guys watch some ESPN videos. So, I'm Randy Bueller. I've enjoyed talking to you with Brian Kibler, and I'll see you in about an hour and 15.